Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Playing Poem, Vitaly Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Jason Hornsby, JMels24, Unamento, Iron26, Endless, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
I know, I got my Ethernet plugged in. I'm good. Belief has always been there, just can't quite put our finger on it. There is no scientific evidence of what they are.
I know what it is. And on the eighth day, God created the luminiferous ether. Just not written about.
Why are you talking about ether?
Oh, the Karen B answer to Will Duffy.
Sorry, the Shields want to talk about ether? Shocking.
Yeah, she calls it the final acknowledgement. She goes on about a 45-minute video. She's just reading from that book, Satetic Astronomy, I think.
Okay. What response is required? They measured Earth flat there. Weren't we done with this? Oh yeah, we need to keep it alive like there's a perception of debate. Because there's an ether. I mean, that sounds like a very shilly way of making flat earthers sound like complete retards, doesn't it? I mean, it'd be convenient if we weren't talking about Earth being measured flat in Antarctica and were instead talking about the luminiferous ether. Karen B's just another shill.
Yeah, Nathan, and right in the beginning, her verbiage, she says, we've measured and we don't find curvature.
We've measured, we don't find curvature. Yeah, Karen B's a shill. Yeah? She's not here to talk about Earth being measured flat. She's here to keep the argument of it not being a sphere alive by saying we've measured non-curvature. You don't measure non-curvature. You measure flatness. But she's talking about how we don't measure by measuring non-curvature. Yeah. And the luminiferous ether. Yeah. These people are here to bullshit flat earthers away from facts and into bullshit beliefs about ether. Yeah, that's what they're here for. Karen's no different. If she's not talking about bleeding Bigfoot, she's talking about ether.
Yeah, she said we've proven it to be not a globe. Oh, really?
You don't prove negatives. You don't prove things aren't unicorns. As long as you can keep flat earthers arguing for proving the negative for a globe, then the argument's only ever whether or not it's a globe or not. Flat earthers say it's not a globe, globers say it is. Meanwhile, both will argue within the confines of utilization of a flat earth measurement in every single respect that Earth gets measured to argue that is or isn't a ball with the flat earth measurements that everyone's whistling past. But meanwhile, luminiferous ether, you're all shills. Earth's measured flat. We checked. You checked. The ballers checked. Everyone checked. Earth's measured flat. You don't need to listen to some wicked witch. You don't need to waffle on about Bigfoot or ether. It's nonsense. Earth is measured flat. That's my response, right? Get lost, you stupid cow. Why are you babbling on about ether and Earth not being a sphere? You don't prove negatives. Meanwhile, the assertion in the positive that you're obviously not bracing against is in requirement of a flat Earth measurement. So why aren't you babbling on about how Earth's measured flat? You're measuring how it's measured not spherically. Idiot. Get out of my community. That's what this is now. Not yours, you stupid babbling witch, talking about Bigfoot and ether. Get lost. We talk about measurements. They're flat. We checked. You are part of the old guard shill nonsense crew that talks about ether and no forests and Mandela effect and Bigfoot. Piss off. You're not welcome here anymore, Karen. You're a tosser. You understand? We don't need you when we can talk about Earth being measured flat. You can bugger off and talk to people about bleeding Bigfoot. We don't need you in our community of flat earthers. We know it's measured flat. We checked.
Yeah, she doesn't bring up measurements once, other than, we measured it not to be a curve, things like that, but never did I listened to the whole thing. I did not hear her say Earth is measured flat.
And this will be the distinction between who's a shill and who isn't. If you can point out that every single measurement of Earth ever is flat, then you're a flat earther. If you point out that Earth is not spherical, then you're a shill. That's it. Simple.
Agreed.
Don't need to know how not spherically it is measured. We need to know how Earth is actually measured. And in every single aspect of Earth measurement, it's flat. We checked. Ballers checked. Dan likes saying, yeah, locally there's no curvature to measure. Dan's saying it. We don't need Karen saying it. We've got our opponents, that's Simon Dan, saying negligible curvature when measuring with basic trig. That's flat Earth measurements. You're redundant here, Karen. We don't need you anymore. Bugger off. Crazy witch.
You should really go over the video in a live show.
Fine. Dig me out a link and we'll cover it.
Oh, it's a mess to be.
I'll start straight away. Teams trying to flog me sounds. What's that all about? I'd rather turn them all off. I don't see a link, Neil. I mean, you could make these easy, but you don't. TikTok video. Is that it?
It's called the final acknowledgement.
Thank you so much, Neil. That's really helpful of you.
Scroll up a little bit.
Yeah,
You want me to
thanks. It's not
repost
like I'm
it? I'll
trying to
do
run a
it.
show or anything. Is this it? Some random link with nothing connected to it? Seriously? Okay, well, I give up. Okay, well, it looks like we're not doing it because I'm looking through Master B, Neil.
Listen, give me a second. The Master B, it says Adam Jado posted it. It says the final acknowledgement, Karen B. That's all I have. I clicked it and I played a video.
Yeah, I posted the link above. Check comments. Okay. I think I've got it.
So it has been brought to my attention that I have been addressed directly by Will Duffy to participate in his upcoming FE debate. He sent me an email, which I will read right now. Hey, Karen. I have selected you to replace Robbie Davidson on the list of 24 flat earthers invited to participate in the final debate on Saturday, August 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I mean, I'm already confused, right? According to Duffster and TFE, it was final. What part of the word final don't they get? Why would we need to debate this if their impression that they've given off to their crew is that the outcome of TFE was in the title as final? So now that it's been finalised by them, they need to debate about it. No, they need to keep the impression that there's a debate alive. There isn't. They measured Earth flat at TFE. It was subsequently supported by 1,000 identical flat Earth measurements made by Dan. So in conclusion, not debate, in conclusion, Earth was always being measured flat. It was measured flat by the guys in Antarctica. No debate is required. You're all idiots.
The final experiment led to two main responses from the flat Earth community. Many left flat Earth and acknowledged the globe.
Sorry, two main responses? Sorry, what about the responses from TFE when they phoned me from Antarctica? I'll name the two responses I got when I got a personal phone call from the participants of TFE. Number one, where are the guns, Nathan? Where are the guns? Yeah. Number two, he tried to deflect with measurements. End quote. Yeah. So unless Duffy's about to go through the measurements, they'll be the ones that are measuring a flat Earth, affirmed by Dan 1,000 times. Yeah. Again, I'll just point this out. There's no debate necessary. We checked. You checked. Earth's measured flat.
And many flat earthers remain, which implies they believe our observations and experiments can be reconciled with the flat Earth.
No reconciliation is necessary. You measured Earth flat. I repeat, no reconciliation is required for a flat Earth measurement for a 24-hour period with respect to elevation angles of the sun. Elevation angles are elevation, that's off the surface, and angles, that's two straight lines, one formed by the surface level, measured by the guys in Antarctica. So to conclude this non-discussion that shouldn't be taking place in the first place, Earth was measured flat exactly as it always was in Antarctica. Earth's flat. You checked.
The globe side has declared victory and
Sorry, you declared victory in spite of the 2 points. Where are the guns? And he tried to deflect to measurements. Yeah, did, yeah. They were flat. Yeah, Dan confirmed it, so I don't really need TFE anymore. I'm not really that interested in what Duffy's got to say. I didn't even read his email, Karen, because I already know Earth's measured flat. And I got a personal phone call from Antarctica to let me know just how flat they were measuring it. And then when I pointed it out, I got told that there weren't any guns there. Okay. So I got my phone call from the lads who measured Earth flat in Antarctica. So there wasn't any necessity to debate this subject. It was already being measured flat before they went to Antarctica, and they confirmed the flat Earth measurements when they got there. So we're all clear. Earth was measured flat by the numpties who went to Antarctica.
Also claim that the flat earthers have no answers for TFE. So
what would the question be? Is Earth being measured flat? Yes, it was. There's no questions to be asked beyond that. Earth got measured flat.
Final debate will test their claim.
Sorry, this isn't a claim. This is a statement of absolute fact. You measured Earth flat in Antarctica. Nothing to do with me. I put my hands in the air. I did not measure any flat Earth prerequisite elevation angles in Antarctica, but you did. So what is it we're going to be debating about? You measured it flat there. There's nothing to debate. You measured it flat. So in conclusion, Earth's measured flat because it was measured flat in Antarctica. So why are we discussing it again?
If they are correct,
there's nothing to be correct about. You confirmed it with your own measurements of a flat Earth.
Flat earthers have no answers, then flat earthers...
But there's no question being asked. It was just measured flat. When you measured the surface level for an angle, that was you measuring the surface level for an angle. That's not a question, you complete numpties. Are you deranged? Are you idiots? Do you think that measuring surface level for an elevation angle measured to the sun for a 24-hour period is a question? No, that's a flat Earth measurement. It's why there's no need to debate, yeah? We established it when I got a phone call from Antarctica to let me know how they were getting on with their flat Earth elevation angles. And when I pointed out they were measuring Earth flat, I got told there was no guns there. Okay? So no guns, other than the Chilean government escorting a man away at gunpoint 6 months later when he landed without permission on the Antarctic Peninsula that he wasn't supposed to be on and hadn't filled out the forms that all you numpties who went and measured Earth flat there filled out before going. So we figured out where the guns are. They appear if you don't have permission to be there when measuring Earth flat for 24 hours with surface level angles to the sun, called elevation angles off the surface. Obviously, there is only one position you numpties who measured Earth flat can do now, and that's deny that you measured Earth. You can say that your surface level measurements for the elevation angle to the sun were nothing to do with Earth, in which case you've got no Earth measurements. Alternatively, you can accept that you measured Earth flat with a 24-hour elevation angle to the sun, off the surface level. It's part of the angle. In which case you measured Earth flat. We already knew that was the case. We're rubbing your noses in it. And while we're rubbing your nose in it, Dan went and did it again 1,000 times. Surface level elevation angles to the sun. Okay, so we're all clear then. Earth got measured flat because that's how Earth gets measured. There's no need to discuss anything further. We'll be moving on. You numpties can argue about it if you like. With idiots like Karen, you, the guys who measured Earth flat in Antarctica, can ignore me because I'm not interested. I know you measured Earth flat. You know you measured Earth flat. I've told you. One of the participants, that's McToon, got told by me personally that he measures Earth flat 100 times. So you know you measure Earth flat. I know you measure Earth flat. Dan, Simon Dan, definitely knows he measures Earth flat 1,000 times. So, again, I'm a bit confused. Why are we debating this? Oh, is it so that there's an illusion of debate when you talk to numpty idiots like Karen? Yeah? You guys who measured Earth flat need to keep the discussion going after measuring Earth flat, do you? Well, Karen's the perfect candidate. We're not interested. We know it was measured flat. You measured it. But you can carry on discussing the subject like complete deranged idiots with dingbats like Karen. She'll discuss it with you because she's obviously stupid and doesn't realise you measured Earth flat there.
Others will avoid the...
But that's probably why she didn't get a phone call. And I did. Yeah? Because I've been pointing out to one of the participants of TFE that he's measuring Earth flat 100 times. Yeah? That's why I got a phone call. And why I can say, we're moving on. Earth was always measured flat. It's just a question of time for all the general public to recognise those facts that will never change.
Final debate. But if there are legitimate answers to TFE, then they will show up and provide them. As it stands, the general public believes TFE...
Ah, bless. You want me to show up with my answers? I've already given to the answers to you 100 times, though, haven't I? I mean, did you acknowledge them? I mean, the only reason I'm repeating myself 100 times is because I've given you the answers that you want. You just didn't like them, yeah? In fact, when I gave you them, the response was quite telling. Where are the guns, Nathan? You lied! No, I didn't. No, the Chilean government did definitely escort somebody away at gunpoint 6 months later. They hadn't filled out any forms, obviously. You idiots. But that was the response to the deflection to measurements, because they're flat. Okay?
Is the final nail in the coffin of flat Earth. The final debate will broadcast to the world if that is the case or not.
Sorry, why would it be up for question? Was there no finality to your final experiment? No, there wasn't, was there, lads? Pathetic. Meanwhile, we pointed out that you measured Earth flat there, didn't we?
The final debate will also be a charity drive to raise money to help fight against human trafficking, and it will be my money only, which is donated to the Exodus Road, a Colorado 501c3. For every flat earther who participates in the final debate, I will donate $250 to the Exodus Road. But if you participate as one of the original 24 flat earthers, I will donate double, $500. The goal is to raise at least $10,000, and if just the original 24 flat earthers participate in the final debate, that alone will be $12,000 and far exceed the goal. The final debate marks the end of the final experiment and will be documented as an official part of this historic journey.
Cool. So you're going to point out that Earth got measured flat there, or what? I mean, I don't care. I'm just asking for a friend. But literally, I couldn't give a this. Couldn't give a monkeys. Right, you're going to tell the world that there's no debate anymore? Based on what? Flat Earth elevation angles for 24 hours? Really? You're going to tell the world there's no debate because you measured Earth flat? I mean, that seems kind of stupid. But I mean, you do what you like, you do you. I mean, you'll need Karen and other numpties to make you look good. Me, I'd be pointing out that Earth's measured flat. I've already done it, though, haven't I, 100 times? It didn't get acknowledged, and I don't care. You don't have to acknowledge it. Just keep believing that your flat Earth measurement's provable. You can do that. I give you, TFE and all associated parties, my permission to believe your flat Earth measurement's provable. Okay? I'll give you permission to believe you won the debate that doesn't exist based on your flat Earth measurements. You can believe you won. I'll give you my permission. You don't need me there. I've given you my permission to suggest to the world that your flat Earth measurements proved the bull. You got my permission, okay, lads? You can use our measurements of a flat Earth that you took, okay? You're allowed, just this once. Nathan Oakley says you are okay to use the flat Earth elevation measurements to the sun for the 24 hours that you measured Earth flat for. I'm okay with you using them. Therefore, will not be in attendance, couldn't give a toss, already know Earth's measured flat. You guys are inconsequential to us.
I sincerely hope to see you there. I will provide a StreamYard link the day of the debate so any flat earther can join live. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. I have a lot of thoughts about this, Will Duffy. First of all, your claim, many flat earthers left and acknowledged the globe. Maybe a few people did, but who cares? People are free to think whatever they want to think, and many flat earthers remain. Yes, many of us do, because a lot of us have been here for a long time, and we've already gone through this whole thing with the sun and the 24-hour sun at the poles. And
Sorry, poles? Oh, you'll need a flat Earth for those, Karen. I wonder if you'll mention that fact.
we've already researched it, and we've already looked into other ways that this could be
Yeah. Your disclaimer is that you've done something very interesting, Karen. What have you done precisely?
explained. No, we don't have answers.
Right, you don't. Then shut the fuck up. Get out of our community, you stupid cow. Why are you even fucking here? Piss off. We don't need you. The ones who know Earth's measured flat and can point out that Duffy, Dave, Jaren, Toon all measured elevation angles to the sun for 24 hours, we'll stay and call ourselves flat earthers. You can piss off and hang around with the Bigfoot twats and the ether believers and the retards who will be lining up to debate with other spastics like Duffy and the crew who measured Earth flat. You can't prove jack because you're a retard. We know Earth's measured flat because every time we get challenged, our opponents go and measure it flat. Okay, Karen, that's why we get phone calls from Antarctica and you get dipshit invites to go and debate something that's already been measured flat. So you're going to go, are you, Karen, you crazy old witch? So you can debate something that's been measured flat? What a thicko. Leave it to us, Karen. Yeah, we're telling you, piss off. You're not bleeding welcome here with your stupid nonsense about ether and Bigfoot and not being able to prove Earth is flat when it's measured that way by the people you're talking about in response to this letter. You're just clueless. So sod off. You're not welcome here.
Okay, we have possible answers. We have
we have flat Earth measurements that they took in Antarctica, you crazy witch. What are you babbling about? Just get lost, get out of my community. I'm telling you to sod off because you're not bleeding welcome. Yeah? With your beliefs, and your hypothesization, and your ether, sod off. You crazy believers. We know it's measured flat. They measured it flat.
Plausible answers, but nobody knows definitively. And you know that. You know that nobody knows definitively.
I know definitively that Earth is measured flat because, shocking, because it's measured flat. I mean, it's not like I'm making it up when my opponents confirm that yes, over small local distances, we use flat approximation and basic trig. Yeah, that's Earth being measured flat by the admission of my opponents. You are a useless twat, Karen. Fuck off. Get out of my community. You're not a flat earther. You're a wanker. So piss off. You're not fucking welcome anymore. We know. We've measured. They measured. It's measured. Earth is flat. Okay? If you don't know, listen to my disdain. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. You're a stupid retard.
Even the heliocentric model cannot be proven definitively. The globe side has declared victory and also claimed.
You don't prove models. That's a reification fallacy. Anthropomorphization. Let's tick them off. Dickhead, you're not welcome here. You don't even understand how you're going to debunk something that also requires flat Earth measurements. Do you have any clue how heliocentrism comes to fruition, Karen? It requires Earth gets measured flat. Now, if you had half a brain, you'd know that. But you don't think you can prove much. So fuck off. If you can't prove anything, why the fuck are you here? I know why you're here, to talk about ether, to talk about Bigfoot, to make us all look like retards. And I'm sick of it. Get lost. If you can't point out where Earth gets measured flat, then you're not a flat earther, you're a dickhead.
Claim that flat earthers have no answers for TFE. Okay, first of all, TFE was not an experiment. The final experiment was not an experiment. It was
Pound says she doesn't explain why.
An observation, and not even a new observation.
Observation of natural phenomena is part of the scientific method, so that isn't a justification for it not being experimental. You're not expanding on it. You're just a clown, Karen. You haven't got a clue what you're babbling about. To say it's not an experiment, you'd need to validate why. That is to say that there is a natural phenomena. They are observing something occurring. They could science it if they knew what science was. They're just not formulating a hypothesis, that's a scientific prediction, and then varying and manipulating that which they assume causes their observed phenomena. That's not what's occurring. That would be an experiment, the actualization of a scientific prediction. Now, I can verbalise why it's not an experiment. You, someone I'm telling to fuck off, can't, because you're a pretender clown, Karen. So fuck off, get out of our community, you pretender clown retard. Go and talk about Bigfoot and ether.
Nathan, hold on. She can't break it down like you did because she's guilty of it down the road. You'll see.
This observation about the 24-hour sun at the poles was made many, many years ago, hundreds.
Right, observation. They measured stuff, Karen, you complete retard. They measured the surface level for the angle to the sun. That's the measurement that they took, you clown. You stupid batshit insane witch. If you had a fucking clue, you'd realise they measured Earth flat. It's not an observation, it's a fucking measurement of a flat Earth. Learn it, then fuck off. Okay? Because I don't want you here. It's been 10 fucking years and you haven't got a clue. What a clown. Well, we've got to start live anyway. Do you want me to continue this during the live stream?
Yeah, I think it's worthy of it, but you got to get to the end, so you may have to skip a little bit because all she does is read. After she's done with her address to Duffy, she just reads from the book. But you got to get to the end where she starts talking about the omnivorous ether.
So skip to 35 minutes? Yeah? No? Just give me an approximate number where I'll skip to, Neil. I'm currently hanging on 35.49. I'll leave it there for now. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. We are joined by, click OK, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
Yo.
Yo. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I listened to this nonsense this morning about Ether.
Okay, so in the first, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of the pre-show, we've been covering Karen B and her response to an email she got from Will Duffy. I also got that same email, I just didn't read it. So we've gone through that in the pre-show. I've got quite sweary with her because she's irritating and suggesting that we haven't got any proof of flat Earth when they, TFE crew, measured Earth flat in Antarctica. So when I had my phone call to tell me that there was no guns, the deflection was away from the measurements of a flat Earth in the form of elevation angle measurements to the sun for a 24-hour period. Elevation is off the surface. The surface level forms part of the angle to the sun that was measured for a 24-hour period off a flat Earth. So Earth is measured flat by TFE. Now, from what I've just heard in an email that has been sent out by Will Duffy, including to myself, as I say, I just hadn't read my copy because I'm not interested in anything that's being communicated with me by anybody in this subject matter currently, because we measure Earth flat and it's been confirmed by the people at TFE and then reconfirmed by Simon Dan 1,000 times. So there's really not much interest in discussion with these people, for me at least, given that we measure Earth flat and have always measured Earth flat, and Karen B should really know that. Whereas her rhetoric is, we've measured Earth not to be a ball, which, as far as I'm concerned, makes us seem like a shill. Because to suggest that we've measured Earth to not be something is ludicrous. I don't measure horses not to be unicorns. That's absurd. Now, if someone wants to suggest to me that they are unicorns, then the burden is on them to prove that positive assertion. I'm not going to go around disproving the alleged proof of unicorns that I'm not out to prove. I, on the other hand, know Earth's measured flat, so it kind of becomes inconsequential what any of you numpties who think that there's a justification to go to Antarctica again, or maybe debate what you experimented down there. I mean, you can do that. My name's Nathan Oakley. I give you my permission to debate about the flat Earth measurements that you will use to debate about whether or not it's a ball. So you have my permission to use your flat Earth measurements that you measured in Antarctica off a flat Earth. Okay? We're all good. We don't need any help from you, thanks. We know it's measured flat. You measured it. We measured it. Everyone measured it. Earth's measured flat. So the cat's out of the bag, so to speak. Other than it was never in any bag, Earth was always being measured flat by everyone anyway. So this kind of becomes a bit benign. But you bunch of muppets can go and argue with idiots like Karen B, who doesn't seem to understand that Earth is measured flat. I mean, knock yourselves out. You've got my permission to use our flat Earth measurements that you measured in Antarctica, by the way. You're okay. I will allow it.
She won't use them, though, Nathan. What she focuses on,
I don't care.
reading from that book, is the movement of the celestials to refute the movement of Earth. It's a joke. Electricity, magnetism, and then it eventually goes to the luminiferous ether at the 36-minute mark.
I'm already bored. So, I mean, as fascinating as it might be for me to listen to Karen B waffle on about Bigfoot or ether or TFE, we in the actual flat Earth community know Earth is measured flat and could give a toss about any speculations or beliefs. Yeah, we're kind of beyond that now. I mean, as condescending as it may sound, we used to be where you are, dabbling with idiots thinking there's a debate about Earth when it's measured flat. What we actually now have to contend with is idiots who want to tell us we're wrong, going out and measuring Earth flat to prove us wrong. I mean, just as one example, Simon Dan, or TFE themselves. You know, these guys are wrong, they say Earth's flat. So what we're going to do is go and measure Earth flat for 24 hours, off surface level. It's part of the angle. Now, alternatively, you, not me, you guys can do this apart from me. You can say, no, they weren't measurements of Earth. We didn't use surface level as part of the angle, in which case you've got no measurements. Not that I care. I've just given you permission to use those flat Earth measurements that you will use because you measured them off a flat Earth. So why are you debating? Oh, yeah, to create the illusion that there's a debate. Now, we've moved on. Maybe you didn't understand that. You're emailing me, Duffy. You don't need to email me anymore. We checked Earth's measured flat. You checked Earth's measured flat, Duffy. So thanks. Not that I needed you to confirm what we already knew, but you did anyway. Good for you. But that doesn't involve me anymore. You going and measuring Earth flat, you can do that without me. Like Dan, Simon Dan. He didn't need my help to go and measure elevation angles off surface level 1,000 times. He just went out and measured Earth flat of his own volition. Now, obviously, in his deluded idiot mind, he thought he was debunking flat earthers and affirming Earth's sphericity with 1,000 flat Earth measurements. But that's because he's a retard. Now, I can't help that, and I want no part of this anymore. You bunch of retards arguing about how flat Earth measurements may or may not work on a flat Earth, that's idiotic, and I'm done with it. But, I mean, good for you. Maybe go back to Antarctica and measure Earth flat again with more elevation angles. I don't know. Do whatever you like. I don't care. When you're debating, though, you do have my permission to use the flat Earth elevation angles that get measured off Earth's surface level. Surface level. So we're all clear. Earth gets measured with a surface level, because that's what it is. We checked Earth's measured flat. Well, just one more. You checked Earth's measured flat. If we want to listen to this ether nonsense, we will.
Vast electric body circling around and over the Earth, and its motions may be known by experiment and observation. It is well known by those...
What, the same observation and experiment that you didn't know wasn't an experiment down in Antarctica? Down being something that's alleged in antipodal positioning, something we cover, the actual flat earthers. But here we are using this to allege you luminiferous ether. I'm thinking no.
Told you.
Yeah, no. This luminiferous ether shit can stop right now. We measure Earth flat, Karen. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can sod off out of this community because you're not part of it. You're here to peddle garbage to idiots. Other idiots like you. Now, you become a useful idiot when you get involved with people like Duffy. You go out and measure Earth flat and then argue about how those flat Earth measurements might not work on a flat Earth that they've measured flat. Now, you can be a useful idiot for the Bigfoot community. Maybe create your own little ether community where you allege that you've got science. You haven't. You're a charlatan. A shitbag that I'm sick of people like you being in my community. My flat Earth community where everyone around me knows it's measured flat. That's not you, though, is it, Karen? So sod off. Go and talk about Bigfoot. Go and flog this shit that you're peddling here to the Bigfoot people, not to flat earthers, because it's a disgrace.
Those who study the laws of electricity and magnetism, that if an electric current be made to circle around any body, that body becomes magnetic by induction.
If you're hearing this shit and you're a flat earther, know this. There are people on the internet, that's me, who say Earth is measured flat. And when we say it, our opponents go and confirm it for us 1,000 times. When you're hearing about electricity and magnetism in the flat Earth subject arena, if you don't hear ding, 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 then you're a moron. What should you be hearing if you're listening to a flat Earth video? Well, about Earth, specifically Earth. Not the luminiferous ether or stars, because that's not the Earth, now is it? Yeah, but that's what these charlatans and shitbags will do if you're not very bright. They'll take advantage of you. Karen's taking advantage of you if you don't realise that she's not talking about an Earth that's measured flat, confirmed by my opponents when I point it out. She's telling you about electricity and magnetism, just like other charlatans and shitbags that go on Netflix and say that there's problems with flat Earth. There isn't. It was always being measured flat, but the shills will create an illusion of debate. And the useful idiots, the people who are stupid, that's Karen in this case, unless she's maliciously doing this. But we'll just assume she's stupid. Don't recognise how Earth gets measured flat and instead focus on luminiferous ether with alleged science. She's just a fraud. You know, by extension, if she's reading this crap off the page and alleging it's science, that makes her a fraud. She takes ownership of this crap, and I'm calling her a fraud. I'm a flat earther who talks about how Earth gets measured flat and my opponents confirm it. She'll talk to you about magnetism and electricity like it has something to do with Earth's surface when she's looking up at the lights in the sky. Know your charlatans, ladies and gentlemen. If people are talking about Earth being flat, then they're flat earthers. If they're talking about this, they're scumbags.
Thus, in the daily revolution of the sun around the Earth, we have a physical cause which accounts for the magnetism of the Earth.
Meanwhile, the sun that rotated around Antarctica got measured off the surface level with angles that proved Earth was being measured flat for a 24-hour period. So rather than talking about how Earth gets measured flat, and will always be measured flat, we're talking about how the magnetism affects the sun in the luminiferous ether. Know your charlatans. What you are listening to currently is a shitbag. Now, I don't care if you don't like me swearing. I'm going to say it like it is. She's a shitbag. She's a fraud. She's a con man. That's what she is. Because she's not talking to you about the Earth, is she? She's talking about the sky, the lights, the magnetism, the electricity, the luminiferous ether. It's not Earth. Earth, meanwhile, gets measured flat. With the sun, with an angle to it off the surface level measured by the guys at TFE. Why is she talking about this? It's a video response to an email she's got from another charlatan fraud who went and measured Earth flat in Antarctica. So we're clear. We, that's flat earthers, talk about Earth being flat and prove it with measurements, undermining any notion that there is a debate because our opponents also confirm how flat Earth will be measured. And when they measure Earth flat, our opponents, not us, they'll say that that's okay because there's negligible curvature, that it's okay to use basic trig and flat approximations when surveying, that's measuring, Earth flat. So we're flat earthers here at Flat Earth Debate. The namesake of the show only exists because there's numpties like Karen perpetuating the notion that there's a debate when it was always being measured Earth, that is, flat. So make no mistake, people who talk about Earth being flat are flat earthers. People who talk about luminiferous ether are charlatans.
If the sun were to leave the heavens and cease revolving...
Sorry, I'm not talking about if the Earth stopped being the Earth. I'm talking about how we measure it. It's always measured flat. There are no exceptions. Anybody who challenges me, like Dan, will go out and measure it flat 1,000 times. It's not what Karen's doing, is it? I hope I'm opening and broadening the eyeballs of a few people listening to this. Yeah? I hope you're going, yeah, you're kind of right. She's not talking about Earth at all. She's talking about shite. Speculative garbage that she's got no proof of. While we're talking about how Earth was always being measured flat by everyone and still is. When they go out and allege that they're disproving flat Earth, they measure it flat. That's what we're talking about.
The magnetic currents of the Earth would rapidly die out. Furthermore, if we were to seek for a physical cause of the daily revolution of the sun, we would find that it is bodily carried around by the ether, which is in rapid and continual circulation over the Earth.
Right, spaceless assertion fallacy. This is pure speculation by a moron. Meanwhile, we measure Earth flat. Want an example? TFE. Want a different example? Simon Dan and his 1,000 participants who took elevation angles off surface level. That means we've got a surface level. That means Earth's flat, as per the measurements of Earth. By every single measurement of Earth ever, without exception. I know, maybe I should talk about luminiferous ether. Maybe I should talk about free energy and how the lights in the sky rotate. Maybe that's what I should talk about when we're measuring Earth flat. Yet these people are shills. They've all exposed themselves. Karen's no fricking different. She's not talking about Earth being flat, so she's not a flat earther. She's a shill talking about something that's not flat Earth. There you go, oh, you call her a shill, you got proof of a paycheck. No, she's shilling for something that isn't flat Earth, isn't she? That's what she's doing. She's shilling for ether. That's not flat Earth. Flat Earth is the Earth that got measured flat in Antarctica with the elevation angles. That's elevation. That's off the surface. Angles, 2 straight lines meeting at a vertex. One's the surface level. Those are the measurements of Earth that I rely upon. What, you don't want them to be measurements? Maybe you can call them approximations, but that means you haven't got any Earth measurements. Oh, you like them as Earth measurements? Then you're measuring Earth flat. Well, maybe you could get someone else to go and confirm it, because just one measurement of Earth flat for 24 hours with surface level angles to the sun, that's not good enough. Maybe if you went out and did it all across the surface of Earth with 1,000 elevation angles instigated by one man called Scientism, maybe that would be enough for you. Or maybe it'd be better if dickheads like this clown here, Karen, argue with people like Will about how Earth might or might not have an ether, rather than how flat we are all measuring it. Because then there's an illusion of a debate, isn't there? Yeah, that's the game. That's all we're going to point out from here forward. Everybody who doesn't point out Earth is measured flat will get called shills, because that's all you need to do. It puts an end to the discussion. There is no discussion when your opponent measures Earth flat. What am I going to do if Dan sat in front of me? Oh, what, I don't debate people, Dan? Yeah, you do. You debated me on Twitter and lost immediately, didn't you, Dan? You and your reference frames have been ruined. That'd be Dan debating with me. He's a liar. He debates, he just loses. But what would he say if he came here to actually debate Earth's surface? What would he say? Yeah, okay, we do measure Earth flat for 50k. That's okay, though, Nathan. It's because of the negligible curvature. All right, Dan. So, to be clear, Dan, you measure Earth flat for 50k because you don't have any curvature. So, we measure Earth flat. Okay, Dan, it looks like there's no point in me being here, really. You understand already we measure Earth flat. This is your rebuttal? To go out and measure it flat 1,000 times? That's not much of a rebuttal, son. It just makes you a wanker. Because the whole time you're pointing out I'm wrong with a flat Earth measurement in tow. So you're a bunch of clowns who I'm done with, right? There's no other conclusion to come to when someone like Simon Dan goes out and measures Earth flat 1,000 times to tell me I'm not correct about the flat surface level that was measured by him. You're just idiots. Now, I don't want to be associated with you people. Now, you want to pour scorn on this flat earther says this and this flat earther. I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, the flat earthers that are in name only are the idiots like Karen that are just Bigfoot experts and ether experts. None of them talk about flat earth. We do. The ones that get the calls from Antarctica to talk about guns. We are flat earthers, but we actually talk about Earth being flat and then prove it with our opponent's measurements of Earth's surface level, which they measure for angles. So we're proving Earth's flat over here. These dickheads are going to lie to you about free energy and ether.
Thus, the Creator has solved the problem of perpetual motion, or rather has given us an example of perpetual motion.
She's just said God solved the problem of motion. She's a retard. Just unsubscribe from this utter batshit insane white witch. Because that's what she is. She's babbling on about God having solved problems. Sorry, you've spoken to God, have you, Karen? Meanwhile, we're proving Earth gets measured flat with our opponent's measurements, you dick. Get out of my community. What are you even doing here?
The solution of which man has hitherto tried in vain to discover. If ever it be found out by man, we may venture to predict that it will be found only in connection with some circulating electric body or a circulating current of electricity inducing magnetic action.
I'll just say it again. Earth's measured flat. Karen's not a flat earther. You'll hear Earth being measured flat over here. Over there, you'll hear about your luminiferous ether and your God solving his problems of sun movement. Okay. Just know Earth's measured flat, okay? You want proof? Go and ask anybody who opposes me ever for their measurement, and it'll be flat.
This circulation of the ether was advocated in the Earth for September 1900. The ether was there said to be in a state of constant flux, like a great...
They're said to be advocated for. What, so someone argued for this shit, did they? Oh, really? The unicorns were advocated for. They were said to be in existence. Okay, that's fascinating. But beyond the baseless assertion fallacy that we've got an ether, it doesn't exist, does it? Yeah, it's just shite. It's just nonsense. She's just making it up. Yeah? Because she takes ownership of this shit now. It's hers. So she's a fraud. This isn't backed by science. That's what she opened with. So she is a fraud. Karen's a fraud. Unsubscribe from her. Right? It's not going to be tolerated like it used to be tentatively tolerated from dicks like Bob before he was alleged to die. After being mic'd up and accidentally suggesting that there was problems with Earth rotation based on his faulty gyroscopic drift, which doesn't occur. Gyros remain rigid in space. It's why they're useful. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat by every single Earth measurement ever. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about this luminiferous, if I could say it, ether. No. What we will do is expunge wankers from the flat earth community on this time around. No, we won't tolerate people like Bob babbling on about luminiferous ether. Said it right this time. Or magnetism and electricity. Earth's measured flat. Who gives a shit about your luminiferous ether? Finally got my tongue around it. Nobody, that's the answer. If Earth's measured flat and we're in a flat Earth debate, and everybody's measuring it flat, then that kind of draws a close to the suggestion there was ever a debate to have. Everyone measures it flat. What are these dicks waffling on about? Ether? Why? Who cares? That's because they're shills. They're not here to talk about flat Earth, are they? Because they're not. She's going to bullshit you and fraud you with this garbage based on who's advocating for it. I couldn't give a crap. Advocating? It's gone from scientific validity in terms of the inference by language to, oh, well, this person advocated for it. They said it was... Oh, really? That's what we got, is it? Someone said it? Yeah, that's what we've got. Yeah. Don't care. We've got measurements of Earth. We checked. It's flat. They checked. It's flat. Everybody measures it flat. The illusion came from us arguing, if we're called flat earthers, that Earth isn't a ball. And have other dicks who are questioning their own faith in heliocentrism argue that it is a ball with their flat Earth measurements, like Dan and Dave and Duffy have measured. So we're clear that's the illusion. Everybody accepts that Earth is measured flat, but one side argues that the flat Earth measurements create a ball, and the other side say that the flat Earth measurements don't prove a ball. Because everyone's using flat Earth measurements at surface level to say we see too far if you're a flat earther. Why the hell you'd be doing that when we measure Earth flat? Who cares about how far you allege we see based on ball Earth maths? The ball Earth maths measured Earth flat too. It's right there in the maths at surface level. But no one's pointing it out, are they? Yeah? The closest Karen's come is by saying we measure Earth not to be a ball. What a crock of shit. She's a shill. Expunge this fraud from your life.
Great stream continually going around the north center or so-called pole, carrying all heavenly bodies with it at various heights according to their varying densities. In fact, it was represented as a sort of a vortex motion.
I just say it again. Earth's measured flat. Our opponents have verified it. They checked. It's flat. You could alternatively listen to this babbling witch waffle on about luminiferous ether and magnetism. Alternatively, no Earth's measured flat. Then you won't waste any time with these frauds and charlatans and con men. That's what Karen is. She's a con man. She's conning you. This is shit. Now, if you're taken in by this shit after knowing that Earth is measured flat, then you're an idiot. You're easily duped. And that's what they rely on. Con men, like Karen here. She relies on you being stupid, not realising that when you've come for the flat Earth, you're getting something very different, aren't you?
Vortex motion and gravitation.
Well said, Karen. You come for the flat Earth and you get the vortex motion, don't you? Yeah? I don't sound like a flat Earth. Vortex motion? Luminiferous ether? Ka-ching, finally got it. They sent flat Earth, witch! Me, I'm telling you to get lost now. Go away, Karen. Nobody wants you here. The actual flat earther's the one who know it's flat. You already confessed on this video that you couldn't prove it. So you're not useful then. So get lost. Go and hang around with idiots who you can peddle ether to. People who believe in Bigfoot. That's not us. Yeah, the people who know it's flat don't want this crap peddled to them. We're calling you out as a fraud and telling others about how fraudulent you are. Yeah? With your motions and your magnetism and your non-Earth-based evidence in a flat Earth arena. Yeah, the flat Earths have got a bit sick of you now. Now we're telling you to get lost. We'd rather people just talk about how Earth is flat.
When Sir Isaac Newton suggested or invented or formulated the idea of universe...
But you're using Newton, right? The laws of motion of Newton were not right. End quote. Richard Feynman. You're talking about guys with out-of-date 110-year superseded gravity. This is the appeal from flat earthers. They're using the shit that we debunked, that heliocentrists inferred gas go down, go boom, boom with 110 years ago. That's the standard from these charlatans. That's right, she's using Newton. Okay? Now, the people in the modern scientific community, if you want to call that anthropomorphization of a method a community, no, Newton isn't right. Meanwhile, Karen the fraud's going to appeal to this shit, isn't she? Because she's frauding you. She's conning you. She is a charlatan. She's not a flat earther. That's us. The ones who talk about Earth being measured flat and rub our opponents' faces in their flat Earth measurements. That's us, not her.
Universal gravitation, eminent mathematicians and philosophers opposed the idea and suggested certain theories of vortex motion or motions around a number of vortices to account for celestial phenomena. And this was done too with the idea of displacing the theory of gravitation.
I'll do it every time. Earth's measured flat, by the way. You could listen to Karen waffle on in a witch-like nature about gravity, luminiferous ether, magnetism, vortexes. You can listen to this crap all day long if you wish to waste your time with frauds. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat, and every time she babbles on about this unproven nonsense, I'll point out the actual subject she's alleging to be in is about Earth being flat. And I point out that the people that this video is titled The Namesake is Duffy and his TFE crew who measured Earth flat. And it was affirmed, backed up by the elevation angles taken 1,000 times across the entirety of the surface of the plane we live on, by Simon Dan. So I don't really know why Karen's getting involved. She didn't even have any evidence that she could even suggest she could prove an Earth that's flat with it. She said she didn't know. So based on that, she's being told to get lost. And you, the audience, if you're still listening to this crazy cow, why? Yeah? You just like being conned, do you? You just like frauds? Yeah, Earth's flat. Yeah, this is garbage. You're listening to garbage. That's what you're listening to.
Our space will only allow us barely to mention such names as Kepler, Descartes, and Huygens. But these men, while on the right track, if we may so speak, were weighted and hampered by the incubus of the globular theory. Once we have proved by practical experiment that the Earth is a plane...
Earth is a plane is not a scientific inquiry, right? Let's just humiliate Karen because she's an utter clown and a fraud, right? Scientific inquiry elucidates the cause of a naturally occurring phenomena. That's to say, something occurs, that's something happening, and you go, I wonder what caused that. Then, based on your dependent variable, that's the phenomena you observed. Half your hypothesis is the observation of a natural phenomena. Yeah? Dependent variable. Sorry, Earth as a plane. Is that a variable? No, she's a witch. She's a fraud. Unsubscribe. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's conning you. To suggest Earth as a plane, that's a concrete noun, not a phenomena. Can be scienced. Proves beyond all doubt that you aren't in your right mind if subscribed to charlatans and con men and frauds like Karen B. Science elucidates the cause of a naturally occurring phenomena based on systematic experimentation, actualization of scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis. That's independent variable, presumed cause of the naturally occurring phenomena, being varied by a researcher to see if it causes the effect you observed at step one. That's an experiment, the actualization of a scientific prediction. Now me, a flat earther who talks about Earth being flat, only know this so I can expose frauds on the globe side and on the alleged shill flat Earth con man side. That's Karen, just like Jaron and Bob and all of the other ether grifting con men we've experienced for 10 years. We talk about Earth being measured flat, and it's confirmed by our opponents. You measure Earth flat, right, Dan? You measure Earth flat, right, Dave? Let's get right and close for the camera for this one. You measure Earth flat, don't you, Toon? Yeah? You all measure Earth flat. So we've confirmed it, and the charlatans and grifters and con man shills, like Karen, will sell you an ether. That's what they'll do. So now you know the game. Now you know the grift. Now you know what to look out for. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to summarize it right now. If someone's talking about Earth being flat, they're a flat earther. If they're talking about ether, that's stuff that's not about the Earth being flat, then they're a con man, a grifter, a shill, a charlatan. Why? Because they're not talking about the subject. Earth being flat by way of measurements. Now, when I, a flat earther, a legitimate, genuine flat earther, someone who has dedicated his life to the subject at his detriment, talks about the subject of Earth being flat, I'll point it out and my opponents will confirm it. Dan will confirm it with elevation angles to the sun he measured 1,000 times. Dave and Toon and McDuffie will all also confirm the elevation angle measurements off a flat surface level. They all measured Earth flat within Antarctica. There's no getting away from it. So know your shills. If they're talking about flat Earth, it's probably quite good. If they're not, they're not. It's just that simple.
And a vast magnet, we are open to receive a better idea of vortex motion and the untenable nature of the gravitation theory.
Earth's measured flat.
But coupled with the lately proved fact, the sun, for at least 6 months of the year, circles around the southern pole, we are now compelled to admit that there are two ethereal...
Sorry, why are we moving past the fact that when the sun circles, we measure Earth flat with it? Because that's what happened. Yeah? What's that? Can you hear that? Where are the guns, Nathan? Who gives a shit? You measured Earth flat, didn't you? Yeah, they did. So what, we're going to question whether or not it works on a model? They're shills. Karen's a shill. She's a fraud. Just unsubscribe from her. Now, when it happened the first time around and the second time around and the third time around with these shills punting ether, and we told you, yeah, recognise these idiots for what they are, and you went, no, they're good people. They've got some good flat Earth evidence, have they? Where is it? Is it coming through the luminiferous ether? I'm thinking no. Is it the vortex motion that's good at flat Earth evidence? No, it's not. No. Fool you once. Yeah? If you're still there, you're just a retard, as far as I'm concerned, right? And I've got no sympathy for you anymore. Yeah? We've told you what to look out for, and it ain't complicated. If people are talking about Earth being flat and proving it with measurements, then they're all right. If they're talking about a luminiferous ether and vortex motion, then there's a good chance that they're a con man and a shill.
Vortices instead of one ethereal vortex as we formerly supposed, but the subject is too great to be encompassed within the limits of one or two articles. We can at present only indicate the general outline of these forces or causes of celestial motion. We reckon.
Right, the celestial motion is measured with respect to a flat plane of reference with elevation angles. All of the motions are logged and tracked off a flat Earth. Karen's never going to tell you that. She's a shill. She's a con man. She's going to grift you with ether. I'll tell you that this motion she's just detailed explicitly measures Earth flat. So what are you going to do?
Nathan, I can't. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I'm just saying I'm not watching this. I'm listening. But is she reading? Sounds like she's reading from a script. So is she just talking naturally, or is she reading from a book or something?
Yeah, she's reading from a book.
Ah,
it doesn't matter.
right.
This becomes hers.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep, correct.
Recommends aesthetics to study the kindred sciences of electricity and magnetism if they would arrive at a clear conception of the motions of the heavenly bodies.
I'll just say it again. Science is a study of the physical and natural world. So unless we're talking about natural magnetism or natural electricity, then no. And if you are, then your first step is observe natural phenomena. I mean, obviously, you're not going to get this information from Karen.
Speaking generally, we may state that the stars in the southern circle move in circles around the southern center.
Those would require we take measurements of Earth and its surface for the angles with respect to them, when we track them, when we measured them. Like I keep saying on this show, Earth was always being measured flat. Here's an example of it. Is Karen B talking about, at the first opportunity, like I am, Earth being measured flat with this example? No, this example's being used to grift ether, isn't it? So I'm interjecting with a flat Earth measurement. Isn't she supposed to be a flat Earther? No, she's not. She's an ether grifting shill. Like all the ones have come out the woodwork to say, oh, what do you know? It was a ball. So they punted you ether and we told you beware. Then they came out as ballers. And now here we are, still with ether grifting scumbags, taking examples that utilise a flat Earth measurement and ignoring it to grift ether. What scum. Just unsubscribe. We've told you to do it before. We'll tell you to do it again when it happens. And it'll continue to happen. There'll always be people like Karen here to punt and grift ether. Instead of pointing out the flat earth measurement associated with what she's talking about, she won't do that. Yeah? Maybe she'll tell you we measured it not to be ball-shaped.
And while those in the north move around the north center, the sun...
Sorry, north is a unilaterally flat earth only direction. We haven't used a compass, Karen. I mean, I can get a compass and go, let's have a look at north. Down. No, it's not. It's a flat earth direction. So the moment you say north, the discussion ends. It's a flat earth only direction used on flat maps. With the stars that are measured with flat angles. And the sun that's measured also with elevation angles. For every single measurement we've ever took to it ever, Earth was flat. And still is. Do you want an example? Oh, TFE. Yeah? It's why I couldn't give a crap about email responses from these clowns that go and measure Earth flat when they're trying to respond to us about how flat Earth isn't. Yeah? So everything that she's grifting you with ether has flat Earth evidence attached that she could be pointing out but isn't. Know your scumbags.
Moon and planets move in spirals, which are almost but not quite circles. Coining a word, we may say that those bodies which are called planets or wanderers sometimes spiral round the south center when they have south declination. They all...
Sorry, south? Did she say south? I mean, it sounds like she's never used a compass. I mean, I was a Boy Scout. I've had plenty of compasses. South? Like that way? So is that way? If I'm an Australian, do I get my compass and look up when I get my compass? Now, compass is a flat earth tool. Yet the second you use these axiomatic directions, you're describing and can only describe a flat earth with them. Now, is Karen pointing that out? No. But I've already told you, does the person take what they say and utilise it to prove that Earth's being measured flat? Or do they try and shill you an ether with this flat Earth prerequisite directionality? I'm pretty sure she's trying to grift and shill ether to you rather than pointing out a flat Earth only direction. What are we doing? You don't have to buy anything. I give you a couple of options. You know, you don't have to become a member. You can find out Earth's measured flat. Take 35 seconds to go and verify that by way of any Earth measurement ever, and then bugger off. You don't have to be here. I don't care. Yeah? My channel still continues to grow. I've got plenty of support. I just about keep the rent paid, keep the roof over my head, and I'm satisfied with that, right? That's all right. I don't care. I don't have to grift you and con you and fraud you with crap like a suggested debate that utilises the flat Earth measurements I know we all use. Like north and south. Yeah? Do you think those are anything to do with anything other than a flat surface? No, they're not. Yeah, but there's going to be certain people in a flat earth community that never point this stuff out to you. Just unsubscribe from them. If you're a dyed-in-the-wood flat earther and you know Earth's measured flat, why are you subscribed to these people? Do you just want to be frauded? You're just a bit stupid, right? You like con men, right? Didn't you want to turn your back on people like that? Yeah, they're still here though, aren't they? Leading us as opposition. Interesting, isn't it, when you can look in from the outside? Yeah? Like at these other numpties arguing about flat Earth. The one that we all know, that's us. Not you, us, over here. We know it's measured flat because you measured it flat, yeah? But you still want to argue with, not us, Karen, yeah? Well, good for you. You got my permission to use the flat Earth measurements, as I told you earlier. But we're done with you. We don't need you anymore.
All revolve much in the same way as the sun, the motion of which has already been explained.
Did I hear the dulcet tones of a Brian?
Yeah, just a moment. Are we covering? Is this Karen B? And did she say earlier, according to you, did she say that we measured the Earth not to be a globe? Is that the best she could do?
That's what she said, yes. Unbelievable. I've started calling her a shill. You're like, if your rhetoric is we measure Earth to not be a ball, we measure horses to not be unicorns. What? Yeah, you're a shill. Get lost.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. It couldn't be more obvious. I mean, we're proving the Earth is flat over here for 10 years. And over there, the globe grifters. What are they doing now? Giving people the option. the option of it could be flat or a globe, but don't forget the ether.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a freaking outrage, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you want to add something, Neil? Go ahead. Or was it one deck?
No, just continue playing. It gets better.
There are, however, some peculiarities or special characteristics in their orbits, especially in that of the moon.
Orbital motion is derived from flat plane measurements and radial values. She mentioned Huygens earlier. Now, I wondered if she'll ever get to what Huygens and various other characters she also mentioned, we'll see if we have to bring up them again, what they're actually utilising. Huygens superimposed the radius of Earth, which gets measured flat, onto Venus for the transit, for the scale. That's what Huygens did. Now, again, the shills in the flat Earth arena, here to lead the opposition with garbage about luminiferous ether, won't point out that orbital motion requires flat Earth measurements. Now, once you've measured a flat Earth elevation angle to Polaris for its minimum, you can extrapolate out radial values to superimpose on Venus. Like, who did that? Oh, Huygens! Like Karen the Shill mentioned. Now, she pointed out that Earth gets measured flat. No. But she's going to waffle through the book and talk about orbits, making you, her audience member, very familiar and comfortable with these terms. These terms that aren't having a flat Earth prerequisite measurement pointed out in association with them. It's an outrage. Yeah, now I'm talking to you, Karen. Bugger off. This isn't your community, right? Now, if you're here because you're a paid shill, then there's not much I can do about that, can I, you witch? But what I can do is point out the shillery that I perceive when you babble on about this crap that has plenty of flat Earth measurements associated. Evil in ball rhetoric. Like the Huygens radial value superimposed on Venus. Yeah, you're going to need a flat Earth measurement for that. Yeah, you're never going to point that out, though, are you, Karen? Which is why I'm telling you to get lost. Yeah, we'll take it from here, thanks. The ones that know Earth's flat, and get our opponents to measure it for us flat. Yeah, we'll take it from here, love. You can go back to talking to Bigfoot clowns. Yeah, grift them with your ether crap, because we're done with you. The flat Earth community, yeah, it's not Jaren anymore. He disappeared back to the ball, just like you, just another shill. Here, ready to say, oh, it's a ball after all. I mean, after measuring Earth flat with elevation angles in Antarctica, what other conclusions can I draw? Yeah, that's a shill. Yeah? So the actual flat earthers, the ones left, yeah, we are the only ones who say matters. We say get lost with your luminiferous ether. You crazy witch. We're sick of your fraud. Yeah? So bugger off. We'll take it from here with the flat earth measurements that all of our opponents are affirming.
Which will take 2 or 3 chapters to go into more fully, and so we must leave the moon's motions for a future consideration.
Earth's measured flat for the moon's motions as well. Ugh, it's elevation angle measurements. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Right, Earth's measured flat for all of this crap. Orbital motion, heliocentric derivations of angles, in this case to the moon, gives you their motion. What's the motion being tracked with? A flat plane of reference. There are no exceptions. Earth's measured flat. Yeah, Karen B, I'll just keep saying it. She's a scumbag, a fraud, a charlatan. She's never going to point this stuff out to you, but she will take very low-hanging Earth that's measured flat fruit and turn it into an ether scam. We've seen it for 10 years and we're sick of it. Why have we got so many freaking frauds in our community? It's ours now, right? I'm looking at you, my audience. This is our community now, right? The frauds, the little sleepers that have been here making our lives miserable on the flat Earth side, they've all exposed themselves. It's just us now. It literally is our community. You, and I'm talking to my audience, you need to take ownership of what we now possess. It's not their shilly, ether-based community anymore. They are absolutely in the minority, being killed off intentionally as the controlled opposition shills that they always were. They're saying Earth that's flat is dead. We are, that's us, saying Earth's always been measured flat. So know your strength, my community. Take ownership. Seize this moment. Because it's not Jaron in charge. It's not Patricia Steer leading the charge. It's you. You know it's flat. That's powerful. But if you get tangled up in the fraud and charlatanism of scammy, scummy, ether-based crap that uses endless, low-hanging, flat earth-proving measurements to grift others with ether, then you can get lost too, just like Karen's being told to. Get lost, you're not welcome here. All I want to see around me is the people that I love, because there are aspects while I'm getting all angry that I can very easily flip the script and go, I love my actual community. The people who show me genuine support. And they're all the same. They're the people who know it's flat, that know it's flat. Yeah, they're embracing life for different reasons because they've moved past the is it or isn't stage. You can't not know it if you know how it's measured. Yeah, that's the pain. The same pain that people like Simon Dan experience when they have to apologise for how flat they measure it is the same joy that every person I experience on a daily basis in my community, the ones I'm appealing to know your power, the power of turning your back on these idiots, the Duffys of the world. Yeah, I'm not joking. Yeah, sorry you emailed Duffy. I didn't even read it. Why? Because I couldn't give a toss about you anymore. You're inconsequential to me because I know how it's measured and so do you. For you, it's a painful pill that you've got to try and get around and justify how, yeah, we can measure it Earth flat, but that's fine because it's just negligible curvature when we measure it. I mean, you can do that. We've moved past that. And there's a lot of power in being able to express that to next man. No, I don't argue about Earth being flat. You feel free, numpty. We know it's measured. You measure it flat if you're talking to an anti-flat earther. What do you mean I measure it flat? You and your Simon Dan have ruined a globe because you measured it flat 1,000 times, you bunch of numpties. So know what Earth is moving forward if you're my audience. Know that there aren't any exceptions to how it gets measured. It's been every single measurement we've ever made of it. There aren't any exceptions, and every measurement that ever gets made of it moving forward will be flat. There's a reason why you can relax into your armchair like I'm doing. You don't have to make 1,000 edits to your video like Simon Dan when you spew about how Earth is measured flat and your opponents are confirming it. Then life's easy. You don't have to stumble over your words and edit it out 1,000 times for the 1,000 flat Earth measurements that you made. Yeah? This is me figuring out why everyone in my comments was moaning about how heavily edited my video was. No, it weren't. That was Dan struggling to find the words to express how it's okay to measure Earth flat. Yeah? That required quite some editing. At me, I just used it as it was. It had a lot of edits in it. With Dan admitting that Earth's okay to be measured flat locally because of the negligible curvature. That's what you've got to deal with when you measure Earth flat. But we, my audience, the ones I'm appealing to right now, we know it's flat. We don't need these dickheads in our lives anymore. Yeah? But we also don't need the other dickheads that allege to be flat earthers like Karen here. We don't need her in our lives either. The frauds that allege to be flat earthers, right? Most of them exposed themselves. Karen here will continue to ignore every single flat earth measurement that she's utilising to grift some garbage about free energy. That's all this really is.
At present, proceeding with our explanation of the two vortices, we will further illustrate them by showing the action of two cogwheels when working together in harmony. This diagram, number 6, showing two cogwheels interlocking or working together on their respective shafts or centers, may roughly illustrate the action of the two great currents or sets of currents flowing around the north and south centers like two great vortices. The upper wheel may represent the circles or lines of forces revolving around the north center as represented by the belt ABC.
Mathematically, they're both flat, right? These cogs, regardless of how shite this is, it requires planes of reference to describe them. Flat planes of reference, that's how these motions get described. Obviously, rather than doing what I did earlier, which is point out all of the flat Earth prerequisites that are required, what's she doing? Moving straight onto the luminiferous ether with demonstrations that utilise flat-only reference frames and ignores that they're flat. Doesn't even mention it. Yeah? So we've got Earth being utilised, measured and described mathematically as flat with planes of reference. Is it being pointed out? No. It's being used to grift ether. That's right. Yeah. If you're still subscribed to it, you're just thick. Yeah. You like being conned.
This great belt will represent the magnetic force revolving around the Earth between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, while the lesser belt, GH, may represent similar forces revolving around the Arctic Circle.
Sorry, where did we get the equator? I mean, is it something to do with Huygens' extrapolations of our base values to impose onto Venus? Oh, yeah, I mentioned it earlier, didn't I? I mean, Karen's just going to keep reading. Yeah, no mentions of the flat Earth prerequisites, minimum elevation angles of a flat surface plane. No, nothing. Yeah, just show a diagram that's prerequisite flat Earth measurement utilising, and don't even mention it. Know your con man.
The lower wheel illustrates similar lines or belts of force revolving around the southern center. The broader belt, DEF, showing the position of those forces between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn, and the lesser belt, JK, those about the Antarctic Circle. The spokes of the wheels may represent meridians, which, according to the testimony already adduced, must converge south of the equator as well as north.
All I hear I don't know what to do, because I know it's probably going to be irritating my audience if I keep pausing it, but every second word she says is a flat Earth prerequisite.
Of course, in the case of the two wheels, the cogs would be rigid, being made of solid wood or metal, but the great magnetic currents are not rigid, but play into one another at the points of contact about the so-called equator.
We're all We're all clear that this is now being utilised to describe magnetic vortices and motions in etheric, whatever, as opposed to Earth's measured flat. Mathematically being utilised in terms of the planes of reference on the diagrams, it's being described mathematically flat. Yep, it's not being pointed out in any way, shape or form that this can only be described, wrong that it is, but mathematically flat Earth only. Now we will take our opponents' examples like Huygens in this example and point out where they need a flat Earth. That ain't being done here, is it? No. The whole purpose of this text is to shill you ether. That's its only purpose. It ain't here to point out how Earth's required to be flat in all of these descriptions. Nah, that ain't its focus. If you want a book like that, buy my book when it comes out.
This has already been explained in a previous chapter on the sun's motion.
On the sun's motion, right? Not about how the motion of the sun gets measured with a flat Earth prerequisite like this. This is what they measured. Elevation angles. This is how Dan measured Earth 1,000 times. This is how they measured Earth for 24 hours in Antarctica. This is a flat Earth elevation angle to track the motion of the sun. What's Karen talking about? Oh, well, she's talking about the motions, but just ignoring the flat Earth prerequisites, the ones that we point out.
The sun, being a comparatively small, light electric body, is carried around by one set of currents in the south until partly by its momentum and
it's littered with red herrings. So here we go. Now I've got to maybe challenge that she doesn't know that's the case. So what, do I chase down this red herring? Nah. I just do it again. Earth's measured flat. In this example, he gives a toss about the size that we perceive the sun to be. Who cares? We measure Earth flat with it, right? The motions are described with respect to the motions we track with elevation angles. Measured off a flat plane, that's how Earth always gets measured. It always will get measured that way. If you feel that I'm wrong, yeah, there's been a few contenders, yeah? We're far enough into the game you all think that we've created for me to point out where it wasn't a game, I was just right, and any attempt to make it seem like a game will end in you just affirming how right I am. For example, Toon, Dave McKeegan, Will Duffy, all of these numpties, Jaron, measured Earth flat in Antarctica, yeah? With this, it's an elevation angle measurement to the sun. Imagine the sun going around and around for 24 hours, yeah? Yeah? Just imagine it going round and round, and then measuring the angle with a little number next to it with a little degree symbol. Well, what forms the angle? Well, the flat Earth that is a prerequisite part of the measurement. It's a surface level measurement. It's part of the angle that they measured. So Earth was always being measured flat. This is part of the description, this old crap description that Karen's giving, and whistling past the flat earth measurements that are needed to describe it with. Yeah, that's right. There's plenty of flat earth proof in this, but it ain't being highlighted. It's being whistled past, just like the game would need to be set out. Everyone measures earth flat, and that's fine, so long as one side says, well, it's not a ball, and the other side says, well, it is a ball. As long as everybody accepts that earth gets measured flat and nobody ever mentions it, then there's the perception of a debate, isn't there? Meanwhile, everyone's always measuring earth flat on both sides. So we're done here. There never was really any point in us being here. There wasn't a discussion. We were just part of a controlled narrative that made it seem like there was a debate. But everybody outside the debate was also measuring earth flat. Yeah, if you were surveying earth, you were surveying it flat. If you were using the angles for the motions of the stars on a map, then you were using the angles off a flat earth. If you were charting the ground with the maps, then you were charting it with respect to these systems that we use, the stars and elevation angles, measured off a flat earth to create. That is to say, the earth is charted flat, the earth is flown across flat, it's sailed across flat, and we build on it flat and survey it flat. So, earth's measured flat then. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if anti-flat earthers, otherwise known as globe heads, and flat earthers, oh my God, people like Karen, argue about Earth being perceived to be flat. It was always being measured flat, and anybody outside the discussion will continue to measure Earth flat. It's the reason I say there will come a point, not necessarily in my lifetime, I've no idea, where every member of society goes, yeah, we always knew it was flat. Because it was, and nothing changes. The entire time we've had ball Earth rhetoric about us flying around the sun on a ball, everybody still functionally used a flat Earth and measured it flat, and that's never changed. No alterations were made to how Earth got measured, while those Earth that's been measured flat measurements got used to create the ball. It's quite the other way around, right? Weird how it turns out that the Earth that's measured flat was the thing always being measured and is needed to be measured to create a ball for you to believe in. And then argue with somebody about whether or not Earth's flat based on the measurements that you'll always be measuring. Yeah, there wasn't ever a debate. And everybody outside of the perceived debate that we're in this little pond having, with our brothers in arms, Simon, Dan and Craig, yeah, we're all in the same pond. A pond that's been dug so it can be perceived that there's an argument. And everyone outside the pond can carry on measuring Earth flat quite happily, and surveying Earth flat quite happily, and flying over Earth flat quite happily, and sailing on Earth flat happily, and charting Earth flat quite happily, because they're not involved in this little pond, this pathetic pretend debate, are they? What do? They just measure Earth flat. And what does Simon Dan do in the pond? Even in the debate? Well, he measures Earth flat, doesn't he? Yeah, everybody does, there's no exception.
Partly by its magnetism, it is projected into another set of currents in the north. Now, if the northern currents go around in one direction, the direction indicated by the arrows, it is clear that the southern currents must go around in an opposite direction so that the two currents may work together in harmony. And this agrees with the facts previously brought forward from the testimony of those in the south. If a
Sorry, this agrees with the testimony? What people said, right? I don't care. Measurements are what we go by here, and yeah, the measurements are flat. Beyond that, it's kind of irrelevant what you speculate about. I mean, who cares? But that's why we're telling you to get lost. Maybe you didn't hear us.
Spectator in the north looks towards his center, he will see those celestial orbs which have north declination rise.
So flat Earth measurements then. Yeah, completely whistle past these prerequisite flat Earth measurement. Declination. Yeah, those are flat Earth measurements. Not even getting mentioned.
In the east on his right hand, but if a spectator in the southern circle looks towards his south center, he sees the southern constellations and the sun rising in the east, but on his left hand, thus the two
rising, that's a flat Earth, that's the flat Earth measurement, east, flat Earth prerequisite. Everything she's saying is prerequisite flat Earth. It's flat Earth proof. It's never going to get a mention. These people are shills. We're surrounded by them.
Vortices work together in harmony, as we have illustrated in the cog wheels. Respecting the ether, we may briefly state that our own conclusions are that all motion can be traced to the circulating movement of the ether, and that the ether is therefore substantial, or in other words, a finer form of matter, something approaching the spiritual.
Oh, really? I mean, it sounds like you're a freaking hippie to me. Yeah, you've decided to manifest this ether as something that's real because you say so. Oh, right, because it was discussed to be correct. And therefore it's akin to spirituality. Piss off, you freaking hippie. Get out of my community. We talk about Earth being measured flat. You had plenty of opportunity. There was plenty of prerequisite flat Earth proof in the text you just read. And instead you talked about your spirituality, you sandal-wearing hippie witch. Get lost. Earth's measured flat. There's plenty of evidence for it. You're reading some of it. Some of the things you're describing. Declination. Oh, what's that, Karen? You crazy fraud. Get lost. You're not welcome here anymore. Right, we're at the hour point, so anybody got anything to add? No? Comments from anybody?
There's not much to say, Nathan. You know what I mean? She's just pushing more bullshit.
It's incredibly disheartening because what was something that 5 years ago I'd have fought for, like, oh man, I'd like to be in the community that people call Flat Earth. No, I never needed to be in that community. That community was here to grift ether and gather people up to disband them and send them back to the ball. And that's what's happened. So, you know, there was a point that I mourned my exclusion from a community that was never going to benefit from me being in there because it was designed to be collapsed, wasn't it? And, you know, the culmination of what TFE stands for has done that. So we were never going to be part of that community. But that now it's fallen means that the community that I appealed to earlier in this live show is the community. Not the fringe stragglers like Karen. Us. We're that community now.
Well, I think her intent or her purpose is to end the whole thing by turning it into, not end it, by turn the whole thing into, is it ether or is it gravity debate? Away from whether it's flat or no. That's really all I'm getting out of anything she ever does. And the same with the rest of them. They've voiced all of them, they're all at the same thing. They use the flat earth as a springboard for the first few years, and then it's on to ether. And let's have a debate about whether something is caused by gravity or ether. It's total and utter horsemanship.
Yeah.
Typical Glober, just not talking about, you know, they don't want to talk about the sky and what's going on up there. She's supposed to be flat earth, but she's not even talking about the earth and how it's measured and how flat it is and how we use it flat. Just talking about totally irrelevant nonsense.
Any more for any more?
All I'd say as an ending point is if they're not producing measurements of proof, geometric proof that the earth can be described and can only be described correctly as flat, then they're either too inept to be trusted or they're complete frauds. That's the only way. That's the only options. There is no middle, no grey area. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, completely agree. They're either talking about it being flat or they're a shill, to put it more succinctly. But with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Jolly good.
Like if you know, someone who's just new to the flat Earth and they'll stumble across Karen B's, you know, flat Earth videos, and then she's talking all about that. Like you say, you're dragged into the feast of nonsense straight away, aren't you? As a new sort of someone who's just, you know, trying to find out about the Earth, and maybe they just believe Earth is flat at the moment, and they're trying to, you know, get into it like we all did. They're just going to be flung into the feast of nonsense about ether.
Right. I think that's the point, right? What we're calling the feast of nonsense, as far as I can now ascertain, is part of what can only be described as a controlled opposition narrative that's very carefully orchestrated by specific individuals, designed, and its only purpose is to keep us talking about how Earth isn't a ball. And Karen's comments in terms of, it's measured, not ball-shaped. You're like, man, you couldn't summarize my position in terms of what is the controlled opposition narrative. The controlled opposition narrative is, don't talk about flat Earth. The opposition needs to talk about how it's not a ball. Because then we can talk about how it is a ball, in opposition to how it's not a ball. And when we're talking about how it's not a ball, you can measure Earth flat and talk about how it's not a ball, right? We see too far when we measure our height off the flat Earth. So when you calculate how far we should see, based on your height off surface level, you should see this distance on a ball. But you don't, you see further. So Earth's not a ball because we see too far when we measure Earth flat. But nobody adds the end bit. You just say we see too far, and the opposing side says, no, we don't. Refraction. You're like, we're both measuring Earth flat, though, aren't we? We've got surface level in these measurements.
Yep. All comes down to the measurement. Nice and simple. Just bring it back down to measurement every time. Keep it there. Where's Brian and Neil gone? I wonder.
You were?
I thought Brian was in.
You thought Brian was what?
I thought he was. I thought Brian was in the room.
He was. He went away. He was called by the. I can't think of anything funny to say because I'm looking at my eBay. I'm sorry. I can't multitask. Insert humorous aside here. Oh, that was it. Now I'm not looking at eBay. Insert racist comment.
Society calling.
Need a racist remark about him being Irish. Can you think of one off the top of your head? He's gone to pick potatoes. Man, it's the easy ones that just get away from you when you need them most.
He's got to dig potatoes with his spade.
That's where he's gone. Yeah. He said earlier. He sent me a message. Picking potatoes a bit later. Might have to dip out. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Got to do what you got to do.
If he's got a spade, his name's Doug. And if he hasn't got a spade, it's Douglas.
Yes, indeed.
How's the final chapter of the book going, Nathan? Or is it
well, everyone's on holiday.
Bit?
So, I mean, at the moment, the last editing session has been very tedious for me, very painful to sit through because there's very little for me to do. And, you know, without Adam and QE, without the ghostwriters around, there's nothing to do. What I mean by that is chapter 10 sits with all the red bits on it, and whether Adam's there to come along and go, well, this can be polished thusly or not, is kind of not, because he's not there to do anything, is he? And he's doing the stenography. So without somebody actually typing, nothing gets done. So it wouldn't matter if I said, right, QE, should we do some editing on the book today? He'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I'd be like, right, well, who's going to do the... oh, yeah, Adam's on holiday. So we have no stenographer.
So how many chapters is there in the book, Nathan?
14.
14. And are they long chapters, or does it vary depending on the topic?
They're varied.
Or
Some of them are long. Some of them are not so long. They're all long.
It's just
very good value.
Just one chapter now, isn't it? Earth measured flat. That's it.
Yes, it's just one sentence. You buy it on a gift card. You scan it for a tenner, scratch off the back, and it says Earth's flat. So it's measured. Very good value.
A couple of examples of how you measure things.
I don't think they're necessary, are they? Just any of them, any Earth measurement.
And a big picture of a right angle.
Speaking of the devil, hello, Adam.
What? Oh. Yeah, afternoon, guys.
I was just demoting you to my stenographer.
I heard him.
They're like, what's going on with the book? I'm like, we have no stenographer. So
Yeah.
when there's vast chunks of red text that need to be polished up by Adam, you notice how the bit that you're doing the work beyond the stenography is put afterwards to demean it.
You still got to type. The stenography comes afterwards when QE starts shouting, doesn't it?
What reading chunks of text and saying, no.
Remove it. Yeah, no. 3 more weeks, or 2.5. I enjoyed today's show, by the way. Absolutely no flat Earth detail other than pointing out Earth's measured flat, but the only appropriate response to something that's got nothing to do with flat Earth, it purports to be. Enjoyed it.
It's an expression of, you know when something's let out of you because you can't kind of help it. Well, over the course of maybe 5 years, I've advocated for these shills, and everyone around me, let's just be honest, the smarter people have said, what are you doing? They're obviously shills. I've gone, no. Unless you show me a paycheck from the government, I'm not going to accept this. You're like, no, it doesn't work like that. Look at what they're doing, know them by their fruit, whatever the metaphor or analogy is offered. I've gone, no, there's good in everyone. These people can be on our side doing the good fight and doing what we do. And I've believed that in my heart, right? Now it's reached a point where everyone was right. They're just freaking shills. They're not here to talk about flat Earth, are they? They're not. You do know them by their fruit. It's just disheartening. It's just disappointing. I mean, I don't want Karen to be a good flat earther. I just don't want there to be detrimental flat earthers shilling bleeding ether. That's what she currently just represents, doesn't she? It's so frustrating.
She even tried to ponce my Chinook helicopter theory out of Sons. You see those two? I mean, what is that? That's just 2016. Dave Marsh kind of making shit up off the top of your head. Zetetic nonsense. I mean, vortexes. But, and like I said, what I enjoyed was you didn't engage in any of it. You just went, those vortexes will be measured via flat Earth elevation angles, I assume. Because it's embarrassing in 2025 for somebody to be pimping what she was pimping. Not even her own work, just reciting stuff that enables a neutral to go, yeah, they're idiots, them flat earthers, aren't they? Look at what they're babbling on about now. Vortexes and cogs in the sky. Shill is the right word. I think I'm urging mention. It's not necessarily for cash or anything, but the shilling, there is shilly behaviour towards the cause of flat Earth, irrespective of the motivation. Even if she just genuinely believed there's cogs and vortexes in the sky that rotate the sun, she must know it's detrimental to waking people up to the knowledge that Earth is measured flat.
I think that her role here is to be the guy left behind, the one man left behind. I know she's not one man. She's not one of her, and she's not a man, but you know what I'm getting at. The guy left behind, so that anybody who comes after getting the impression from people like Duffy, the mainstream narrative that's put out there, flat Earth's dead. Well, obviously there's going to be stragglers in the mind's eye of the person that says, oh, really? Well, what's left of it then? Who could possibly still be hanging around thinking Earth's flat? So then you go and have a look and you find Karen B. And you go, oh my God, this crazy witch talking about ether, and she knows she can't prove a flat Earth, but she's got this book that says that even though we can't prove it either way, you're like, we did prove it either way, says the guy's mind when he comes off the back of seeing TFE in the way it's positioned to the general public. So then he gets to see this is what's left over, Karen. Yeah, so she's still got her role to play in that position, hasn't she? And that's exactly what she's doing, making us look us, if we associate with her as flat earthers, which is what we're tarred with, like retards. That's what she's there to play. She's playing the leftover retards. Oh, the dicks that are still hanging around, they talk about this stupid ether stuff, don't they? No. That's what the leftover flat earthers need to be represented as. Yeah? And then the rest of them, the ones that are, you know, the audience of Karen and Jaron and whoever's actually a straggler from that community, they need to see it all wrapped up in debate. Not us saying, oh, there isn't any debate, it's all measured flat. There wasn't really ever a debate to begin with. They need to see what we were doing for the last 10 years now taken over by someone like Duffy. Under their control, right? So that's what's happening before our very eyes. The debate won't take place here with the actual flat earthers. It'll take place between the controlled opposition shills and the ones who went and measured Earth flat and screamed at me about guns. That's what will happen. Now, do I care? Not really. 5 years ago, I'd be furious. Well, we run the debate. Well, there isn't one. Why would I care? Right, you're going to have your debate. Yeah, okay. What's that? I should be more fussed. I've got the show title, Flat Earth Debate. Yes, it's just the namesake for a show, though, isn't it? Because there isn't one. Now, we know that. You don't. So I'll keep my namesake because you still think you're on a ball, right? Yeah, but why'd you measure it flat? What do you mean I measure it flat? Well, if you're an anti-flat earther, you've got Simon Dan. If you're just a normie, any measurement of Earth, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we're not really here to debate this anymore. You can. Feel free. I don't care. Inconsequential to me if Duffy argues it. Oh, he's telling the world that it's all Emperor. Oh, is he? Oh, well, that's good. I don't care. Tell them what you like. The rest of the normies are still measuring it flat, though, aren't they? Yeah? But they still believe it's a ball because you've told them the flat earth thing's over. And which bit of it? What, the bit you created to destroy about the believers of the ether and how they got ruined and wrecked with gerunds looking through bits of cardboard with measurements that are cardboard lasers? Yeah, but we've got surveyors, haven't we? What are they doing? Are they measuring it flat, are they? But we best not talk about them. What about every measurement of Earth ever? Oh, they're all flat. Well, wouldn't we be best served talking about that? Oh, no, we all need to use those flat Earth measurements and accept them on both sides to argue about whether or not it's a ball. Yeah, okay. Because that argument can end in Antarctica assuming antipodal positioning and then debunking an azimuthal flat Earth map that those idiots hold. Okay. Well, that's not us. We're departing from that group. We're not going to be part of your controlled opposition shillery anymore. We call us hybrid normies. We're back on the normal everyday society measuring Earth flat like a normal person would. What, you think we should still engage you in debate? Nah, piss off. Fake Karen.
Not many, like, so-called flat earthers who talk about Earth being measured flat, is there? You know, Dave Wise, even Mark Sargent. I mean, there's only everybody in here, a lot of the guys in politics, like, you know, Jedi and Miggy and Eli and all them, they do. But there's not a whole lot of people I hear talking about the measurement. There must only be a few of us.
The censorship up in this hizzle is horrendous at the moment.
Hello, mic check.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I just listened to Q's show today, and he did a bit of a review on Earth Awakenings. And there was a whole stack of them in there, and they talked about anything except the Earth being flat. You know, refraction and stars and moons and just a whole heap of nonsense waffled. So there's plenty of flat earthers out there that want to shy away from the real subject. Beggars belief.
Well, hopefully with time that will turn into indifference. So I appreciate your disdain and I feel it, right? But I'm kind of ambiguous because on the one hand I'm like, who cares? You know, once the show ends most days, I'm like, I don't even think that. Like, literally, it's not even like it becomes part of my cognition. I don't give it any thought. So it's not like I'm thinking, who cares? I'm just not thinking about it. It is literal indifference. But when you're doing the show, where I'm doing the show, let's put it in first person. When I'm doing the show, and covering someone like today, Karen, you just feel disdain towards them. You just feel irritated by them because you're like, you do champion yourself as a representative of my community. And it just is that. It's our community. It's not what has been created to be perceived as the flat earth community. That's not us. We were really never a part of that. And, you know, we've... But for me trying to engage with it, well, I'm so pissed off today, speaking back to Adam, it's like you finally realise that everyone around you was right the whole time. And that means that we were never, ever a part of that. You know, what the world saw as flat earth was it's never been us, has it? You know, meanwhile, we were just kept segregated from them internally and externally and algorithmically. And like I just said, censorship is off the scale currently. It's like so bonkers. But there we go.
It's a compliment. Yeah, we've stayed true. Yeah, and it's a funny one because I know Brian don't have anything to do with him. I've never been of that opinion. Yeah, but irrespective of what I think of them, it's always been, are they useful to advance the cause? And sadly, they still are. But in the way you dealt with it today, to decry their standpoint, their ignorance, and the damage they're doing to the thing they're supposedly trying to promote. So they still have a use to me. I don't need to get rid of them. But I like things like today where we're pointing out, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a flat earth pro, old school, knowing what you're doing, motivated, not by money, or anything, but supposedly out there trying to spit truth. And you're just spitting fairy tales, making us look bad. That to me is the way that whole side operated from the beginning. Another indicator that they are shills for whatever reason. But look at what all that side did to me. There's a reason when Bob and Cammy moved in, the seed was, well, the well was soured, to the point that someone like me was kicked out because I wasn't a nice person, apparently, If it had been QE they were kicking out, but they might have had an argument in terms of money, but this was me they were kicking out under the guise that, I was a problem. I was a problem, wasn't I? Because I was pointing out the things that we've elucidated so well since I left on Flat Earth Debate, They probably didn't want those things over there being tied to their name, Me pointing out obvious things to Bob when he was always turning up on our show, That behaviour over the time, at the time you don't think of it, Nathan. You don't. You shouldn't really.
How can you have the hindsight to realise that what you're taking away from someone like Bob is plausible deniability? You can't see that with foresight. Now you can with hindsight. It seems obvious, right? You were robbing them of their plausible deniability, Adam. I can say it really easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the time, you're looking at yourself, oh, have a bit, you know what I mean? Or what are they doing? Why are they being like that? Why would you keep going to me, Bob? Why would you take me aside and try to explain why 15 degrees per hour is important? And me back saying no. It's not, you know what I mean? No wonder I was made them uncomfortable on my show.
Indeed you do. But then we could speculate about Bob. I mean, that would be the game that they'd like us to play. Let's speculate about Bob, what he was here for, who's a controlled opposition shill. But like on today's show, I don't want to do that. I mean, I'll call a spade based on what they're doing and then tie that to the word shill. But point out that Earth's measured flat along the way. That's all that matters.
So you look at that with Savage over the years as well, because like me and John he was the guy that brought the gyro, his videos were the first gyro ones. And he'd spend most of his time trying to get me to leave Iron Realm. Let's start our own show. And then when I'm not having any of that, he's also one of the ones that instigated getting rid of me. Once I'd gone, he apparently disappeared as well. So very odd behaviour, very odd dynamics. At the time, I say with only foresight, you don't really put it all into place. But with the hindsight, it's the easiest way to explain that behaviour is exactly because they had an ulterior motive. Some of them. Some of them were just easily led. which is what these people try to do, isn't it? Mislead.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, what other conclusion can you draw? But when you want them to be on your side, because they're alleging to be on your side, you try and work with them. Now, it's like, there's a reason QE said, I should have gone guns a-blazing immediately and didn't. But yeah, maybe you're right.
But you are working with them now, in the only way to the betterment of Flat Earth. What you did today, where you work with Karen's material today, is exactly how it should be treated. You have a good birthday anyway yesterday.
Say again?
Did you have a nice birthday?
I worked the entire day.
Oh.
That's life. I'm 45, Adam. Who cares? Birthday. I got some rings for my chair that raise it up. I'm quite tall, so having these Equans chairs, they're too low. So they're designed to be elevated with a ring, which is bizarre as a system, but it works. And now they're considerably more comfortable, so I'm a lot happier for that reason. I sit in this chair for a long period of the day, like now. But on the other hand, I just looked at the playback. So when I was rounding out, right, I've always got my feet up, but it's in the camera shot now because the stool's been raised up. It's been raised up several inches. So in the shot, you can see my knee. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to do something about that, aren't I? I have to figure out my angles again because you can't sit there seeing straight down my pant leg. What happens if you get a bit of nut or something? That's no good.
Yeah, that'd be bad, wouldn't it? Somebody, a cheeky little snake
yeah,
looking
exactly.
at you.
I'm like, dangerously close to seeing down my shorts here, aren't you? This is not a good angle. I mean, on the other hand, when I'm saying, look, you think back 5 years where people are like, Nathan's got a script. I'm like, script? I haven't even got a keyboard. You know what I mean? I've got nothing in front of me. Well, I haven't changed the position that I've been in probably 5 years. I've done the show from the exact same position. But now on camera, because I didn't used to go on camera hardly at all other than the intro, you actually get to see me. I'm yelling, going, rah, 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 but I'm actually sat back, like about as comfortable as I could be. So it kind of takes away. I'm going to have to remember that when I'm on camera. I can't have the incongruent position where someone's hearing me with this tone of disdain, but simultaneously looking about as laid back and comfortable as a man can be. That doesn't work. It doesn't. It ruins the illusion.
I disagree. I like that juxtaposition. You're screaming at them, but you're there, smiling and screaming. I've noticed you do that now. When you're going to really berate someone, you'll put your face on screen. It's good.
I'm just getting used to it. The only reason I'm doing that is because if I'm going to go out on whatever, the book promotion tour, then there's going to be a good chance someone says, you're going to have to be on camera, I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. But if you're not 100% familiar with being on camera, I mean, I'm not uncomfortable on camera. I've been doing it since I was a teenager, right? It's what I studied at college. But it's like, you've got to get a bit of familiarity with it. And if I'm not on other people's shows on the lead up to promoting the book, then I've got to get on camera on my own show just so I can feel comfortable doing it. And if I end up picking my nose, that's when I know I'm ready. You know what I mean by that? I'm so comfortable that I don't care about on camera. I'm just going to pick it anyway. I've got an itch.
Scratch it. It's getting there.
Indeedy.
I thought the height increase might help your audience on Omi TV. If you ever do that again.
No, I did that before flogging mics. I mean, even as I'm talking to you now, I'm editing a list that from one I've sold because I've bought the same mic again. I'm just a creature of habit now. I just rebuy mics and republish the old advert. I'm so lazy. But, I'm doing that, so I haven't got time to do the Omi stuff. And all I did all day yesterday was microphone-related sales stuff on eBay. Obviously, I did a show yesterday as well, but that's the second thing. Once the book starts up again, once Adam's back, I'll be tearing my metaphorical hair out again that I haven't got, because I'll have too much on. So at the moment, I'm just about coping. I have to do stuff at the same time. So I'm doing microphone stuff while I'm talking to you now and monitoring the show and people in Discord. Add to that the book, and suddenly it becomes stressful. As in, there's too many things. I'm doing too much stuff. What was your question again?
The OMI audience might have appreciated your heightening of the chair to have a look up your trouser leg as we were discussing.
I doubt that's ever going to be the case.
Well, I just thought it was more their level.
Maybe. Well, catching a glimpse of nut and reporting videos is probably the level of the baller. I was going to say.
The idea of what their use of that familiar channel would be.
Yeah, we managed to get him shut down. Why? Flashed a bit of nut.
It's an oblate spheroid.
It was an oblate spheroid.
Pear-shaped.
Oblate spheroid.
Yeah, Nathan's nuts. Out the side of his trouser leg.
I'm sorry, I got into this conversation a little bit. Go on.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's childish stuff. Banter. My chair's been elevated. That means I need to readjust my camera angles, or there's a danger of seeing down my trouser leg, or my shorts leg, if you will.
Wow.
Well, these are things you concern yourself as a videographer.
Videographer. Yeah. I guess that's what I am, a videographer.
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you literally are.
No, I'm literally not.
Maybe you might want to look at what the word videographer means and then tell me that you're not one.
Why don't you? Well, it's not my job to look up your evidence, counselor.
I'm not suggesting anything. You said it. I didn't bring this subject up.
You said I was a videographer before, right? Now you're doubling down on it. Now you got to prove your claim. I say not. I'm not a videographer. I'm not going to provide evidence of non-existence. That's a fallacy.
Okay, you don't make videos. Fair enough.
Fair enough. I don't make videos. No, I just go on YouTube, right? They got that little blue button that says "Go Live." That's it.
Prosecution evidences the numpty clips. Fantastic bit of videography.
I haven't been through those numpty clips in a while. I might want to go back there. Maybe one day. You doing, mister?
I'm just about to jet wash the drive.
Lovely. Yeah. What's the temperature over there in England?
I'm in Italy.
Here it's 20.
Oh, you're. That's right. I'm sorry. Shit. I just woke
degrees.
up. Sorry.
See? 25 degrees centigrade here in the UK currently.
What's that in Fahrenheit? I don't want to look it up.
I don't do Fahrenheit. I'm sorry.
I got 95.
It's what?
95.
No way.
In the UK, that sounds about right. Yeah, 25C is 95 Fahrenheit.
Yesterday.
Is that correct? Very hot here.
104.
Celsius. It's 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Not 95.
And I'm on about where I am. It's 95 today, and it was 104 yesterday.
Oh, yeah. But it's a dry heat.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Can't do a lot, but that's bearable.
Got nothing to do with the heat, though, right?
Again?
You not being able to do much is just that's just what it's like there. It's very laid back in Italy.
He could eat though. I'll bet you some good chow.
He can
hanging
always
around
eat in Italy. It's part of their life. Most important 16 hours of the day, that is.
What, eating?
Yeah. Eating and preparing to eat.
Or it's either eating or preparing to eat. Is that what you said?
In Italy, yeah.
Been there. It's one place I haven't been. Well, there's a number of places I haven't been.
Italy are proper foodies. That means that you get good food. There's not all European countries, but most of the European countries that I've been to are a bit like that. That is to say, they're a lot more concerned with producing good quality food for you to eat. So if you go to a average restaurant or even a street restaurant, you know, and just eat street food, it's good quality. Here in the UK, our food's crap and expensive.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You are Europeans.
Yeah,
so I don't know what's going on.
I mean, we are, but we're on an island, so
not that far away. But by proxy, you're still. See, we treat you as Europeans. We told you about this before.
I know. I appreciate that, but we're very different.
There's no saving.
All right.
It's like us saying Canadians are basically Americans. Everybody's going to get offended, aren't they?
Canadians are definitely not Americans.
You see? 3 people immediately getting offended.
4.
Yeah. 4. Yeah. Canadistan, they're not Americans. No way.
You South Canadians get offended by everything. You're very loud too.
South Canadians. Redneck Canadians. Thought about it that way. All right, what's going on? I did see a couple little. What? Did you overtalk me? What?
Southern Canada is anything underneath the 49th parallel, and I live in Southern Canada.
Yeah, you're a communist. Now back to the regular scheduled programming.
True that.
So, did you go through a video today? The Karen B tip of the spear. I've seen a couple little clips. It was hilarious, man. Who found that video?
Neil. It was Neil's suggestion. I blame Neil.
I declared war on her one time. And you guys made me feel guilty, so I had to lower it to a police action.
Take it
Remember
all
that?
back. Take it all back. Both barrels.
Take all what back?
I would have given you a hard time. I know that would have been me. Maybe you blocked it out from your memory because you like giving me concessions and stuff. But it would have been me going, no, we must work with these shills.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I take full responsibility.
It wasn't only you. There was a lot of people that doth object. So I lowered it. It was to a police action. Those globe dumpsters got their panties in a bunch when I declared war on Guarantee.
Well, with glowing hearts, we see thee rise.
Waxing all philosophical honest. Don't be waxing, dude.
It's actually the Canadian national anthem. With glowing hearts, we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free, from far and wide. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Want it in French?
No. It's a good song though. I like Canada's national anthem.
Of course. Southern Canadian.
What's going on? What's happening? Nothing. Where's Brian?
Oh, we got Guns of the Navarone. Hey, Guns. What are your thoughts on Patricia Steer's comments? No, it's not playing.
Patricia Steer, what did she have to say?
It's a ball. She's glad to be going back, and we're idiots for suggesting there's a hidden hand.
I wasn't suggesting there's a hidden hand. I'm just suggesting that the Earth is flat, stationary, and contained.
Then you may feel slightly misrepresented. Sorry.
Say again?
Then you may feel slightly misrepresented by her positioning of your position.
What?
She's misrepresenting us by stereotype.
No.
Yeah, shocking, isn't it? Exactly. Again, I don't care. 5 years ago, this had made me furious. Now I don't care. I mean, maybe I can't remember how I reacted to it yesterday's show, right? But I didn't give it a second, like most things, I didn't give it a second thought. Literally, I didn't give Patricia Steer a thought between then and now. Because who cares? Seriously, who cares? They need to create the impression that the flat Earth that's ended is being communicated by them to the world. Like, number one, you're not communicating with the world, right? We're in a little tiny pond. Just get over yourself, right? They've been given delusions of grandeur because the algorithmic favoritism, that's been bestowed upon them. These are the anti-flat earthers, has given them delusions of grandeur. Now they think they communicate with the freaking world. No. From that perspective, you're just as dangerous as us. You need to be kept away from the general populace just as much as we do. You know what I mean? But these numpties think that they're communicating with the world. They're like, really? Man, okay. No, you've just got the algorithm at your beckon. When people actually come along and search for flat Earth, they find you. But they've got to be searching for flat Earth first, which makes them a certain kind of person straight away. But that ain't the world, right? We ain't mass communicating from Dan's pulpit or from Duffy's pulpit. You got to be kidding me. Like, literally, these people have got delusions of grandeur. In some instances, they've taken over the pulpit from a flat earther, like with Robbie Davidson, right? Like, these people are delusional. You've been saying it for years.
Yep. I had him pegged a long time ago. Patricia, not Patricia, though. I didn't have her pegged. I really didn't. I just seen her as, like on the outside, like a PR type of person. I never really considered her like a flat earther.
Yeah, that's exactly what she is. You've hit the nail on. She's public relations. So what's she doing relating to the public right now about what the situation and state of play is on flat Earth? That's what she's doing. She's PR. PR for the globe currently. But that's the point, isn't it? PR. You need PR if you're a glober. It's required, right? All this effort. The only thing... Go ahead.
Didn't she almost handle her for Mark Sargent in the grand scheme of things? Have they been doing their co-podcasts for a while? I kind of think of her as a handler for him.
You can spare it, Tard. There's no handlers. There's nothing like that. These people are delusional pretender clowns. That's it.
I agree. I was just curious. It just seems to me that if she's always been just the PR person, kind of on the fence, not really super committal, Mark Sargent still, as far as I know, is still flat earther. Are they even doing their co-podcast together? Strange World or whatever? still.
Is there a point here?
Yes, the question. Are they still doing Strange World?
I've never been a guru. Yeah. I've just never been a conspirator. I've always had a no guru policy. So whoever I've paid attention to enough to see whether they're chilly or not. And the ones that have tended to seem chilly to me, I fairly soon graduated away from and pay attention to.
Oh, this is a fun game. So, who's a shill then? Mark Sargent? Is Mark Sargent a shill?
No, I don't know. I've enjoyed the way that he banters and that he plays loose with the flat Earth stuff. He doesn't take himself seriously. At the same time, I don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
And, don't pay attention to him.
Yeah.
So,
I can understand that. I can understand that as a hardcore flat earther. If you took a look at Mark Sargent. I'm not just pointing out Mark, but there's others that it's kind of cringe, right? It's a bit cringy. At first it wasn't, but now it's a bit.
What is? Be more specific. What's
cringy? I'm trying to describe it. I just woke up, man. It's hard for me to get my act together.
Okay, next. Debay. Is Debay a shill?
I've never spoken to Debay.
I've never spoken to him either. I'm his Patreon at the moment.
You're one of his Patreons?
Yeah, I joined his patronage when he e-begged.
Oh, okay. I don't know. This shill stuff, that it really doesn't matter. I call it the way I see it.
What about Karen? Is Karen a shill?
They're delusional pretender clowns, Nathan.
That code for shill?
No.
I'm going to go with yes.
You're going to go with a yes.
Yeah, I completely agree. Delusional, numpty Dunning-Kruger clowns. But it's fun to create a narrative where Karen B is left behind by the hidden hand to be a demonstratable clown for the people who come and look at what's left of the flat Earth that's described as dying. That's my narrative, and why not? It's fun.
That analogy is pretty much spot on. I think it's a nuanced idea of how the narratives and the programming on all sides through media and personality. Just, programming in the sense that everything that we see is programmed. We watch TV programs. You watch
TV programs. Now you're going to equivocate with programs and programming.
I'm just trying. I'm not being hyper specific, other than to say that the analogy of Karen, the character in this show, is being left behind to be kind of the cleanup for the newbies who come in and get confirmation bias. Yeah, those flat earthers are kind of nuts.
They're not flat earthers.
Get thrown to Karens.
They were never flat earthers. Karen B, never flat earthers. Not true flat earthers. Never.
No, I agree.
All the Globe Dumpsters crew. I can overtalk you because your mic sucks.
I know I'm driving. I'll bail.
Yeah, you don't need to bail. It's just train wreck.
All right.
All of them. The whole Globe Dumpsters crew. The Patricia Sphere. That kind of crew, right? Called them out years ago, man. years and years ago. It's old news. Just pretend to clown flat earthers that weren't flat earthers to begin with. Now look at him. Man, this is a spirited bunch in here today. Charge! Hello, anyone there? My mic's still working.
Yeah. Is my work okay? Is my mic okay for you?
It sounds like a train wreck, man.
All right. Just trying to be on Bluetooth drive.
Where'd Adam
I'm still
go?
recovering from the Canada comment.
Guilty as charged, Adam, no matter what I freaking said. Can I have the paperwork on the calibration done that morning? No. I was about ready to say, you know what that's calibrated by? Einstein's two-way speed of light. And that was an average agreed upon. But I didn't go there.
What the hell are you talking about?
Freaking speeding ticket. I had to go to court for it. No matter what I said, I find that hard to believe because I came around the turn following the GPS had me at 43 in 35. He's got me in 61 at 35 in 35. And I was 30 seconds away from my delivery when I was actually slowing down to get there. He pulled me over while I was delivering the goods. Doesn't matter what I said. They found him. He's the cop. I'm the freaking criminal. So guilty. $329 that I don't have.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks, man.
And they tell you that the DA or whoever the guy is, he asks the comp questions first, and they get that calibration out of the way right away. Do you calibrate the machines every morning? Yes. So I said, well, then can I have paperwork on it? They're not required to give me paperwork. How is that? That's bullshit.
Did you request his support from his claim?
Yeah, I said, well, can I see the paperwork showing that he calibrated it that morning? Because it's supposed to be out in the morning and at night.
Did he bring the certificate for the tuning fork?
So you were in the courtroom and you were challenging. The cop was there?
Yeah, the cop, he said, the judge asked him, did you say anything to Mr. Cosentino? He said, no. Did he say anything to you? He said, yeah, I'm doing a delivery. I said, of course, because I didn't even know I was getting pulled over. Now I'm trying to use my charisma because it was a female judge. So I'm like, he pulled me over. I didn't even know I was getting pulled over. I'm doing a delivery, and I got a guy giving me a ticket. But I do know what that speedometer said because I do not speed. Check my record. But see, you know what it is?
That's not a good defense, man.
Well, that's the only defense I had. I mean, what am I going to do? She's not giving me the paperwork I requested.
Why would she give you the paperwork?
Oh, I did ask. I said, hold on a second, because he was driving. He wasn't sitting parked, clicking his gun. How fast was he going? So they said, do you know how fast you were going, officer? He said, no, I had to look at the speedometer. How? This guy was so ill-equipped. He looked like a freaking teenager. He's on the force for 3 years. But I know what it is. They got to find me guilty because if they don't, he loses vacation days.
Everybody
that's
looks
a
like
fact.
a teenager according to you.
How many mile over the speed limit were you?
He's saying I was doing 61 and 35. Now, I was honest. I said, I know, because I said, I was told a long time ago by an officer of the law, 9 is fine, 10 you're mine. And they laughed. Everybody in the court laughed. I said, so I make sure I'm under 10 miles an hour. I was doing 43.
Then you admitted guilt.
Here in Australia, you'd be walking.
Admitted guilt.
If you're that far over the speed limit.
Just one sec. You admitted guilt to the judge, Neil.
No, that's not what she found me guilty of doing 61. I said, well, can I at least get it under the 25 mile an hour to cause my insurance to go up? No, she got me at 61 miles an hour. I don't care about that. I just wanted it to come down under that 25 miles an hour because my insurance is going to freaking go up.
Yep.
That'll teach you to stop next time. Keep going.
I don't speed. I wasn't speeding that day either. So, anyway, did you hear that nonsense with Karen B, QE?
Yeah, a little bit. He's asking God questions or something. Does she talk to God? Does God have a problem with perpetual motion?
He worked it out.
She said God created the stars, the moon, and the sun, and perhaps the ether.
No. She said God had worked on the problem or something. He'd come up with a solution. Like there was some problem that needed solving by God with motion. That's how it was phrased. I can't remember the exact word she used. But that's how it was phrased.
No, but if you listen before that, Nathan, she does say that. She goes, when she speaks about God creating the stars, the moon, the sun, the luminaries, and perhaps the ether. I was like, well, I didn't read that in the Bible. And what is this luminiferous ether?
Wishful thinking. It does heavens and the stars and maybe a Lamborghini for Nathan Oakley. Maybe just a Lamborghini. Who knows? Maybe.
I'll have to listen.
We
to
know
that.
Neil doesn't need one.
The whole thing she's reading. The whole thing she's reading from Zetetic Astronomy, I think.
Neil,
I believe that's the name of it.
Neil, did you hear in the background? I don't know who said it. Neil definitely doesn't need one.
But what did I need one what?
Lamborghini.
I don't speed, I'm telling you. I was getting hit with speeding tickets left and right when I moved from New York City to upstate because I was constantly on the highway. Until a cop told me, listen, just make sure you're 10 miles under the speed limit.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
you'll be
knows
fine.
that.
So I didn't know it then, but once he told me that, that's what I've been living by. If it's 80, I do 69.
What? If the speed limit's 80, then you do 78. You're good to go.
No. I do 10 miles over. That's right. So if it's 80, if it's 80, I could do freaking 89.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking 70. Sorry about that. We don't have too many 80s here in Missouri.
I don't. I should have been 72 because I got so if it's 70, I do 79.
I do 78.
Yeah.
So
regardless of that, you admitted to the judge your guilt, Neil. In that moment, you admitted you were guilty.
Nathan. I was not going to say I was doing 35 when I was holding my hand up. I'm telling the truth. I got to hold my hand up and to God. And to God, I was doing 43.
Which is breaking the speed limit, right?
Technically,
no,
yes.
They have me at 61. If they would have wrote me down at 43,
you're not listening to him, Neil.
He's not listening to me.
I know what
he
he's
just keeps
saying.
telling me the same
He's
story that
wrong.
I've heard it. He just won't listen to me telling you what the case is.
That's not why she found me guilty, Nathan.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's his testimony, not what I said. What I said meant nothing. Or she would have said, well, maybe it wasn't 61, Mr. Cosentino, but you were speeding. No, she did not say that. She found me guilty. The speed is on there, 61 miles an hour. Now I got to answer to my insurance company. Had nothing to do with what
Neil,
I said.
your words are testimony, sir.
Got a bunch of shithouse lawyers in this mug.
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. I said go before. I've beaten more tickets than I got convicted of, my friend.
I bet.
This one. Doesn't matter if you're 1 mile an hour, 2 mile an hour, 10 mile. Once you admit something, that's it.
Yeah, but there's an unwritten rule here.
Yeah. They want to find me innocent. Every single person that went up there for a speeding ticket before me, no matter what they said, no matter what proof they brought, she found them guilty. I was the last one. I knew it. I was relying on my charm.
You admitted your own guilt. They all laughed when you admitted your guilt.
Whatever.
You did. You're not.
Okay.
Yeah, the glove fit. You know, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
I admitted my own guilt. No matter what, they were finding me guilty anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, maybe not. If the way you'd maybe got away with it was to check his calibrations of his tools and so on and so forth.
Nathan, they checked that right in the beginning. The DAX, he says, yes, I checked all calibrations were done in the morning and at night. When I asked for the paperwork, I was refused.
Well, that was it. So you were guilty because you were breaking the speed limit. He had you banged to rights, as we put it, and you got prosecuted.
Before I act, this calibrate, this is done before. So my question was going to be, was it calibrated? But they answered in the DA's question to him. I asked, can I have the paperwork on the calibration?
Know you told us 10 times. We get it.
All right,
Did you ask for the paperwork for the calibration?
Fine, I admit it. Okay, guys, I admit it. I'm guilty. So I kick myself in the ass. Now change the subject, please.
Now, Nathan's point is that if you go, if the speed limit's 30, you go 31. Nathan's point is that you are speeding.
No shit, Sherlock.
He's not listening to you, stating that the charge against you is a specific speed. And that specific speed, the higher that speed is, the larger the fine is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the bigger the bonus.
You're not going to contest the testimony of the policeman. If he says it's that speed, then that's what you go by because that's what's written down. The judge isn't there to say, actually, because Mr. Constantino says he's only breaking it by 12 miles an hour, we'll go with that. No. What's written on the paperwork is what they'll go with. They'll just stamp it if you're guilty, and you admitted guilt one way or the other.
When I put my hand up and I swear that I'm going to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, I tell the truth. I fear God before man. Okay.
You should have lied.
Oh my God! Not the point.
And it's Constantino.
Concertino.
All right, forget about it. Let's get on to Karen B and her witchy ways.
Well, no, for next time. Let's practice. How fast were you going?
Let's practice.
The speed limit.
34.
No, the speed limit was 30, right?
35.
Was the speed limit 35?
35.
Yeah, under the speed limit. That's your answer.
That's your answer. I was going under.
Doesn't matter. Even if I said that, he's got a machine saying I was doing 61. He's winning.
Your answer is 18 miles an hour deal. 18.
Yeah. What I was hoping for was when I said, listen, I was doing Instacart, I was actually slowing down and pulling into the spot. I did not even know I was getting pulled over.
But yeah, tell him you were looking at your phone, texting your customer. That'll help you.
When the DA... Go ahead.
You're saying you don't tell the judge that you were unaware of your speed because you were looking at how much the receipt came to, gathering at the food while you were pulling in.
No, I didn't say that. Number one. Number two, I forgot number one because I was being rudely interrupted by a wisecracker.
When I stabbed him, Your Honor, I didn't expect the knife to go that far in.
You know, he's not taking your speed when you're pulling over, right? You're slowing down to pull over. He's not taking your speed then. He caught you before that, for God's sake.
Hey, you think I don't know that?
And why you keep saying it?
Because I'm telling you what happened. I said when I was getting out of the car to do the delivery, that's when I realized I was being pulled over.
Well, that's irrelevant. Who cares?
Right. So what I was hoping for was the judge to see it. Listen, I wasn't winning this case. The deck was stacked against me, and that was it.
Yeah, but what you're saying was irrelevant anyway. Who cares when you knew or when you didn't know when you were getting pulled over?
Because I was appealing to maybe, hey, wait a second. If he was at the delivery site, you pulled him over. It was 30 seconds after you pulled him over. You know, how could he have been speeding? You know, usually when you're looking for an address, you're slowing down.
Yeah, that's mere innuendo horseshit.
I have to go for that.
Throw that out.
Oh, you don't. You guys were not before the job. You're not understanding. To calibrate the tool was being used was not losing today. It went fucking undefeated.
You're off.
Might
the
I make a
reservation.
suggestion, Neil?
Use a bike?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Give Neil suggestions.
The next time you get
Huey
pulled
says
over, Neil,
no.
tell the officer your ex-wife left you for a cop, and you were worried he was bringing her back. He'll let you go.
Say that again. Ex-wife what?
Your ex-wife left you for a police officer, and you were just worried he was bringing her back.
That's why I was flying.
That would justify your speed every time.
Well,
What's that, Brian?
Shut up. I wouldn't be asking for the paperwork for his calibration. I would ask them to demonstrate that thing is calibrated and it's precise and accurate. That's what I would ask.
Well, isn't that what the paperwork is for?
That's just paperwork. Anyone could do paper drill. No, I want to. We want to see the exact how he found that I was speeding, the exact machine that he used, and a demonstration out in the parking lot.
Oh, okay. So I can appeal that.
I would.
I can appeal this. I'm going to appeal it. I am. I'm going to appeal it.
You got multiple grounds for appeal. Yeah.
He said nothing. This was a young cop. He said basically nothing. He said while he was driving, his machine indicated that I was doing 61 and 35.
Yeah.
Were you?
And you should have asked the police officer to seize and seal the radar gun as your evidence.
What's that?
Should have asked the police officer to seize and seal that radar gun as your evidence.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, when it happened?
Exactly when it happened.
Yeah,
that takes that radar gun out of use until the court date.
I didn't know that. But these are the ones that are...
If he refuses, now he's tampering with evidence.
Right. But these cars, I seen them when I was leaving. They look like freaking spaceships now. They got freaking shit all over them. You can't win.
What does that have to do with anything? Neil, you're losing it.
No, I understand what he's saying, but I'm just saying when these cars got freaking
we heard you.
guns and radar and freaking speed detectors everywhere.
Gotcha. We understand. Right? That's irrelevant to the case.
All right, so I'm going to put it for an appeal, and I expect all you people, all you wisecracking assholes, to give me what I need. All right? Except for QE. He's not a wisecracking asshole. He's just an asshole.
What? So he's not even funny. He's just an asshole. That's great.
I told you the defense to use, Neil. I told you to get them to prove the one-way speed of light was measured.
Brian, I was about to bring that up, Brian, but I said, oh my God, should I bring it? I don't know enough about it. If they ask me one question, I'm going to be stuck.
You call in an expert witness.
That never stopped any of the globe dumpsters. Just pretend you're a globe dumpster.
Because you know something? I think if I would have said that, I would have got her attention because I did have her attention. But she just can't do it because that's going to take vacation days away from him. Because when I was on the other count after she found me guilty, they asked me, when can I pay it? How much can I pay a month? And I'm on the other desk getting the paperwork to leave. She leaned over and judged to me while they were bringing up the next guy. And she asked me questions about Instacart. She was like, it's pretty tough doing it in rural areas over there, right? I had her. I just didn't have enough over.
Just making small talk with you, Neil. You know, judges are just people, right? She's just a person asking you about your job, Neil. It's not like that's going to have some bearing on your case.
No. My case was over, Nathan. She was talking to me as I was getting something, right? All I'm saying is I had her. I just didn't have enough to turn her.
I reckon if you'd have had 5 more minutes, you could have probably got her in bed.
No, I'm not saying
And she would have paid
that.
your ticket.
Not saying that. I'm married,
Should have paid
happily
your
married.
fine.
And
Seriously, Neil, you should have persisted. You slept with her. Should have paid that fine for you.
Yeah, Neil, stop
Listen to
wasting
me.
that shit, bro.
Listen to me. I've won cases with my personality and my charm. All right?
Those are
Because I
flukes.
entertained the judge who's got to sit there and listen to people mumble all day. I was nice and loud. The whole fucking court heard me.
You should have asked if you could have brought your Discord lawyers in with you on a Zoom call or something.
I was dead. I couldn't even get the show.
Policies you had to purchase for your
Couldn't even get the show on, man. No reception. Because I was going to go into that. I was going to say, these machines, but I didn't know for sure. Brian, so every device they use to check for speed is derived from Einstein's two-way speed of light?
No, not Einstein's. It's a calculated return. So what it is that it's use of trigonometry. It's a calculation of timing and return signal.
Oh God!
He's asking me.
Next time, just go after the Ute. You do sound like Cousin Vinny. So
I'd say, listen, this Ute is not even old enough to freaking ride a bike, and you gotta give me a speeding ticket?
Yeah, go after the Ute's character. Go after. Hey,
I was trying for that.
I'll tell you another time, Ian.
Hey, get him up on the stand. Cross-examine his ass.
We are still recording, just as it's been probably 40 minutes. Just as a quick reminder to my audience, Earth is indeed measured flat. This is indeed flat Earth debate. Just so you know.
Yeah. And we discussed the speed of light in flat Earth debate, do we not? Not no more. Now we know Earth is measured flat.
Not to get off not parking tickets, speeding tickets. No. This is preposterous. They'd have you committed. If you actually attempted to use this as a defence, right? No offence, Brian, right? Don't take this the wrong way. Yeah, I'm not just crying what Brian's told you. I'm just saying that if you offered that as a defence in a courtroom, they'd just have you committed.
Well, no, I don't think so. Not at the end. Hold on, Brian. Not at the end, because I gave everything else. What are they going to say? If I said what Brian said, listen, this is derived from a calculation, and then back it up with what QE said, I want a demonstration of how it's done. Because this is just his word over mine as far as I'm concerned.
You can share
the back of what Nathan's
video
saying.
where he speaks. You could share the Veritasium video where he states and shows where even Einstein agreed that it's just a convention that's agreed upon. There is no two-way speed of light measurement. It doesn't exist because there's no one-way speed of light measurement. So everything they're giving you is a calculation. I could have given you the maths to show that calculation could be broken down by 16 times or 32 times, and there would be no difference. There'd be no difference noticed in reality.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you know what the end result will be? This is the system that we use to detect if you're speeding or not, and that's the end.
And the fail-safe is your admission that you were speeding. That would be the fail-safe in this regard. I mean, you admitted it.
But how can he know he's speeding if he didn't know he was speeding until he was told he was? And the support for him being told he was speeding was this two-way speed light calculation. There isn't a measurement.
Doesn't matter. You admitted it.
I'd absolutely outright destroy a court with that.
Yeah, but he admitted
yeah,
it.
you probably would, Brian.
Neil admitted it to the judge, and he got a laugh.
No, that's not why they laughed.
If
they said laugh your way down to the
€9
clerk's office
you're okay,
that
10 you're mine, or something.
Yeah, that was after. That wasn't in following the 43. That was when I said, how can I be doing 61 when I was told by a cop that if you stay within under 10 miles under the speed limit, you will never get pulled over.
10 miles over.
9 is mine. 9 you're fine. 10 is mine. I got to admit, when I laughed, I thought I won it because that's what happened the last time with a stop sign. I had the judge laughing, and I was proven not guilty. Anyway, it is what it is.
I'm sorry, Neil. I know I've got no... Well, there's no words to console you in this scenario, right? You're pissed. I understand.
I was thinking about it, though, as I was saying it. As I was saying 43, I'm like, what are you doing? You're admitting it. You're admitting you're speeding. That little voice was going inside me. I should have just said 34. I should have just said, I don't think so. I was doing 34. According to my speedometer, which usually this is what you're going by, it said 34.
Yeah, do you have the certificate of calibration for your speedometer?
Yeah, Neil, have you got your certificate? Let's demonstrate how accurate your speedo is in the car park.
How would I even know I'm doing 34? Right, Brian?
Well, with your car you would, but with that gun you wouldn't. You could have tried as a last-ditch attempt if you weren't going to go for the two-way speed light thing. You could have said, hey, at least I wasn't drunk.
Yeah, I was only on smack. I'm fine.
You had people in there. This was one lady. Got pulled over for a stop sign infraction. She rolled through it. He was saying, well, Your Honor, my foot got stuck. And I tried to tell the cop that. I'm like, oh, my God, this one's guilty. Another guy was doing 110 in 70. And he was talking about how he was getting a text from his wife at the time.
Did he
I
lose
said,
his license?
wow,
That guy
this
will have
guy's
lost his...
admitting to reading text messages
I was about to
while
say,
speeding.
that guy will have lost his license completely. Correct?
That's what I'm saying. So when I went up there, I figured I got the best out of all these numpty assholes. They're gonna at least find one person. I was the last speeding or traffic infraction. After that, it was going to be all criminal. I'm like, it's got to be. They got to give one, right? Give one back to the community. No, 10 for 10. Guilty as charged.
But you were.
Their conviction rates in the high 90%.
Oh, well.
Yeah, the only way I would have won that case is if he didn't show up. And you know who the last one to show up was him. I'm looking. I don't see him. I'm like, nice. They're going to freaking dismiss it. And he pops in.
Or if you used the two-way speed light argument, like I said, and just didn't admit you were guilty of anything.
Maybe I should get Karen B to defend me. She knows all about this heliocentrism stuff. Maybe it was in the luminiferous ether.
And you know you're desperate when you're appealing to Karen B in the luminiferous ether to get out of a speeding ticket. That's pure desperation right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I think what they're doing with these videos, Nick. Go ahead. All right. So, Nathan, with these videos that they're putting out, what they're doing is they're all on the same team. I know you know that. They're all lined up. They can scream and yell about Will Duffy, but they're all right on the same team. Hashtag same team. And they're just creating an illusion that there's still something going on because we're still sitting here saying, what the hell are you talking about? Earth is measured flat. And that is driving them insane.
Well, they're just going to continue to create the illusion that there was a debate to begin with, and that debate is still worthy of continuation. It's like, that's wrong on so many levels. First of all, you were of the suggested opinion that what you did in Antarctica was going to have some finality. It was right there in the title. So that kind of makes you look stupid. It reminds me of, do you remember The Running Man?
Of course.
With
that's
Arnold
Bach's
Schwarzenegger.
book.
The host is asking about competitors, and there's a couple of twins, and they're like describing them, and they're quite fit and worthy of the competition. And one of the producers says, what, those two guys that went on the suicide pact? And the game show host Killian guy goes, well, did they commit suicide? And the producer says, well, no, obviously not. He says, well, they're unreliable. That's his attitude. It's like, that's how I feel when I hear the guys from TFE, the final experiment, either talking about, well, the next experiment and what the final experiment too, this time it's personal, or the debate that's going to take place. You're like, well, surely in your own mind, you must at some level believe your own bullshit to at least some degree, right? And in believing your own bullshit about what you did, achieved in Antarctica in your own mind, surely that would lend some credence to the alleged finality that you were advertising in it. But no, there's not even a hint of irony when they go into next experiment, Lone Rangers or the debate that needs to take place. You're like, well, surely in your mind there shouldn't be any debate, right? I don't know. These people are just nutcases at this point.
Well, they're not being honest, that's for sure. And it doesn't matter. As long as we're still discussing and saying the things that we're saying over here, declaring that it is measured flat, they're just going to keep coming out with stuff. They got to get rid of public enemy number one. Flat Earth debate and ball busters. QE Live. They don't care about anybody else. You know that, right? They do not give a crap about Eric Dubé. They don't care about anybody else. This guy that has his little model made up, the Christian guy with his ether. Don't care about him.
Who are they?
TFE guys, I think he's talking about.
The Will Duffy crew.
Yes.
So they're trying to get rid of us?
I don't think they're trying to get rid of us. I think they'd rather we didn't exist. Right, because then they can play out this game where their debate that we're pointing out doesn't exist takes place with people like Karen. And like, look, Karen doesn't even know what's going on. He's talking about spirits and ether.
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing now. I told you they're going to make it the Holy Spirit soon.
They're going to make ether the Holy Spirit.
That's correct. They did already. I heard a few people, some people that used to sit in Discord and Righteousness server while your show was going on. Forgot the guy's name, but he was the guy that was talking about the free man stuff with 10th. Yeah, that guy was Ether believer, and Ether was the Holy Spirit.
Okay. Yeah, we're surrounded by nutters, aren't we? Like, seriously.
But I still want to know what Ether is. I was hoping Karen was going to tell us what Ether is.
Well, then you've fallen for it. You want to know what it is? Why? The nonsense waffle.
Well, if you're going to claim something, you got to, you're claiming electricity. I know what electricity is. I mean, we know Earth is measured flat. I understand that, but she's claiming a thing called ether. Just tell me what it is you're claiming, so I know.
Why? That's what I'm saying, right? Just hear me out. Why'd you care? I mean, back in the day when it was Jaron or even Whitsitt to a certain degree, you're like, okay, well, I understand. You guys are representative of Flat Earth, and you've got something to say on this ether stuff. So what are you claiming? And all that sort of stuff applies for about an hour. And then you're like, well, you've got nothing to offer. We'd have found it out by now. They still haven't got anything to offer and have continued to perpetually peddle this garbage waffle for years now. So what you want to carry on that cycle by asking Karen what she means and getting her to define it? No, thanks. Just call her what she is. She's a fraud.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. She even declared a model, a heliocentric model. We know Earth is measured not to be a ball, Nathan.
Statements like that are just going to get you called a shill, aren't they?
I think she said in the beginning, we've measured it. We've done long-distance observations. There's no curve.
Yeah, that's what they're going to make it about. The long-distance observations show it's not a curved surface. Like, well, the distance measurements are going to be straight and flat and linear for you to make this assertion. But without a hint of irony, they're going to talk about it like the flat Earth measurements mean it's not a ball.
So I'm going to have to go back and listen because I had to shut my phone off for the last hour and a half. I'm sure you entertained us.
Shut your phone, shut your...
Yeah. How far did you get in the video, though? Did you get to the end?
No.
You got to get... If you get the patience to listen to it from the beginning, actually,
really.
it'll just stretch you out.
I find Karen deeply irritating. Don't you?
She reads well, though.
You are.
She's a flawless reader. She reads well.
I didn't know that was something we scored our opponents on when they shill for the luminiferous ether. But on the other hand, yes, she reads very well. That is a thing.
Sitting there listening.
I'm glad you pointed it
You
out.
guys put the book together, Nathan, and hearing you read. You know, when somebody reads well, I take notice. Just took a little shot at you there, buddy.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think I'm going to round out. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and Jeepers Pals for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I can move the camera, move the mic out of the way. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.